We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom, and Hola, Namaste.
Hello.
Namaste, namaste, hola, hola.
All right. I like that. I like that opening. This is great. Okay, guys, another day, and a weaker Islamic Republic. I am more optimistic based on all the data that I'm getting. I mean, I'm optimistic, but I'm also saddened to see the path that has been chosen, how difficult it is for the Iranian people. Hopefully, it produces the results that we have in mind. But I think like every single day, the Islamic Republic is getting weaker at a rate that most people are don't understand. So, as difficult as this situation is, I'm optimistic because every time I come from the Persian Channel here, I have more reason to believe that the Islamic Republic is getting significantly weaker. Do you guys have the same feeling? And also, people in the chat, do you guys get the same sense, or is it just me? What do you guys think?
So I think that the IR has been getting weaker the whole time, but has been very effective at controlling the narrative. And it feels like that narrative control is slipping. So the reality is sort of catching up with it. So I've been thinking about the sort of conflict as a sort of game of political chicken. So the IR and the Trump administration are engaged in a conflict. It's sort of like hot and cold conflict. The nature of this conflict is politically damaging for both sides. And so they're both kind of paying a price, but the issue is who's paying a greater price at a greater rate. And I'm starting to feel like right now, the price that the IR is paying for the conflict is much, much higher and at a greater rate than the administration. So the administration seems to have more durability in its ability to engage in conflict. I'm also very encouraged.
Yeah, Mike, you getting the same
Well,
feeling?
I don't think I know that it's a unprecedented amount of economic pressure. I understand that. But I've also seen what's happened in Cuba. What's happened in Cuba is, and what Armin and Ali talked about, is that they need very little to hold the people down. So it can't be the only tool. I think it's an effective tool. It can be used for a long time, but it can't be the only tool.
Yes, I agree. This is why we keep focusing on other things, including arming the Iranian people, right? Monkey, is that like what else do you have in mind? Like what other tools? Military
Yes.
escalation. Yes.
Well, that's what I wanted, but not right now. Yesterday, like a month ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with that 100%.
Yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was just remembering in sort of the early days of this conflict. Well, I guess maybe a couple of weeks into it, where we started to see like Israeli drones hitting Basij, and there was a moment there where it's like, oh, they actually have this thought out. Like this is not just air power the way that we had imagined it. This is like a much more sophisticated operation. Um, and then that got cut short, with some negotiation bullshit. So that's potentially another tool there, right? That we can get to that point where there is some sort of a lower level military assistance.
Close air
Um,
support has gotten a lot better, a lot more precise. We saw on some occasion that it would hit one car in a row of car, or like one person, and if you were like 5 feet away, you wouldn't get hit.
Yeah.
yeah. I want to get a 3-minute update from what the most recent news is. But before we do that, this thing that you guys bring up, uh, I've been thinking, we've been thinking for why that was cut off. Like, why didn't they just keep doing what they were doing when they were hitting the checkpoints and hitting the Basijis? I was thinking maybe it was the calculation that this seems not to be enough. Like, this seems like I mean, it was very motivating, but I think that at some point their calculation was uh, as as devastating that this is for the Islamic Republic, it's not enough to make the Iranian people be able to overpower the regime. It's not gonna, like, if even if we keep doing this, it will not be enough. So we have to come up with a different strategy. Like the power of the regime with their machine guns is still will be able to overwhelm huge crowds of unarmed Iranian people. And even with this air support, is not going to change that balance. So maybe now, with all of this devastation on the Islamic Republic and the internal fight and the economic blockade and the destruction of a lot of their military infrastructure, and their ability to pay the armed forces, maybe we get to a point where it would be closer to enough. I mean, it will become significantly close to enough if the Iranian people get armed. But maybe that was the reason why they canceled that midway, right? Is that
I'm going to defer to Monkey, the military man, on this one, but I think it's an intriguing idea.
Why did they stop close air support?
Yeah.
Why did they stop hitting the checkpoints? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that pretty much close air support. When you hit a checkpoint, that's a very small target, and it might have civilians nearby. So you would treat it like you would treat when you're attacking a target and you have your military nearby. It's basically the equivalent. You don't want to hurt your military. You don't want to hurt civilians. Why did that stop? I think that was political.
Political.
I don't think that was a military. There's no really good military reason to stop that.
Really? Okay. And what political influences do you think stopped that? That's a good point.
I think they were trying to make a deal.
And so you're thinking, sorry.
No, you're just part of that would be stopping.
And you think that's the influence of people like J.D. Vance, maybe? Like the isolationist influence on the White House?
I don't think that's the initial. I think, okay, if you want to make a deal, or even if you don't want to make a deal and you're distracting them, you want to send a person that is most likely to be understood to want to make a deal. Like, if I want to make a deal and I really want them to think I'm making a deal, I'm not going to send Rubio. I'm going to send Vance. Because Vance has spoken, about trying to step away from the wars. He has friends that are more isolationist. So sending that person sends that kind of message, whether I want him to succeed or not. And maybe I'll give him a chance, and maybe I'll let him try to make a deal. But as long as I'm hitting checkpoints and it's going to be very difficult to make a deal. This was before the MOU even was a thing. This was the first attempt.
Right. Okay. That's an interesting point. Thank you. Let me actually see what people are saying in the chat. You guys highlighted this. Oh yeah, Dr. Robert 60. Thank you for saying good morning to Armin and the rest of us. And yes, good morning to everybody. And Sid and Monkey. The Islamic Republic is getting armed by Putin, but need to hope Iran is free soon. Yeah, Putin and the CCP. Yes, you're 100% correct.
For many years.
Yes, for many years. And North Korea. Thank you, Doctor. And then we had Carla SU3. Thank you so much. Just became a member. Thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us. And Stuart is saying the Islamic Republic has lost most of its power internally and externally. The propaganda is their only weapon. A huge part of their power comes from propaganda and their soft power. It's a huge investment that they make, and they need it so badly. So that's why us hitting their soft power by participating in, the psychological and then information warfare is us also participating in this fight. Given how much their soft power is important to them, that means that if we attack them, on media, that means that all of you could be part of this fight. All of you, by fighting against the propaganda of the Islamic Republic, you are participating in this war. That's why the barriers of becoming soldiers for liberty is lower than ever, because every one of you with an internet connection could participate in weakening the Islamic Republic, which is one of the greatest enemies of liberty worldwide.
Yeah,
and great points to it.
I'll just add to that. I mean, so. My position on this is that I really think that their propaganda is impressive. It's a very impressive operation that has been built over decades. And understanding their success in the propaganda in information warfare is very important to countering it. And it's something that I don't think that we can do overnight. We have to kind of chip away at it. We have to expose it. But we just have to realize how good they are in this domain.
Yes, they are. Don't underestimate that. Don't underestimate your enemy. That's a good point. And thank you. But just because it sounds like crazy to us, it doesn't mean that it's not working on other people. Yeah. Oh, and Carla, who just became a member, also gave us a super chat saying freedom for the Persian people, Javid Shah. Thank you so much, Javid Shah, Carla. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. That's very sweet. And Sherry with a super chat saying, be sure to join us today for Open Day. Yes, was an amazing day yesterday. Our mod did a great job too. Yes, Sid was modding yesterday. Guys,
thank you, Sherry.
Today, guys, today's discussion group is going to be open to all. It's Open Day. That means anybody could join. This is our Liberty Politics discussion group. Today we're going to be is open, so make sure you take advantage of that. Come talk to Monkey, Sid, Sherry, and the rest of us there. The link is in the description. The link is in the QR code at the top left. Also, subscribe to Monkey. The link is in the description as well. So subscribe to his channel. And yes, guys, check that out and come and join us and talk to us. And we have daily calls there. Go on, Sid. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say yesterday was really, really good. It was a really vigorous debate. A lot of different perspectives aired out with a lot of intensity, but also totally good faith. And great contributions from a lot of people, including Sherry. And not only did Sherry contribute great points, but she also wore an amazing hat. Which you can't, which you have to see. Hope that Sherry brings the hat again today.
Yes. Thank you, Sherry. And Javid Shafri Iran is saying, who is even running Iran right now? That is a very good question, and the answer is technically no one. This is what President Trump is going to say once I play this video. Actually, he's going to say, we don't even know who to negotiate with. We don't know who to negotiate with. It's like, who's in charge? So there is no central authority within the regime anymore. There are multiple separate authorities in competition with each other, right? So we have the main key figures are Vahidi, Abdullahi, Hossein Taeb, Ghalibaf, who else? The Office of the Supreme Leadership as an institution, the National Security Council as an institution.
So sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No.
I just want to say, is Khatami, is he a player or is he just a kind of token?
Khatami is a tool like Harakshi, and he's now being played as a card because there are parts of the regime that think that this is okay. So there are parts of the regime that think that we need to go all out and start war because the current economic isolation the United States puts as the Islamic Republic on is intolerable, and they're going to not be able to survive this, and they have to cause they're going to have to make this costly for the Americans so that the economic blockade is removed. Other people think that there is no way. The Americans have found a way for them to cause maximum damage to us with little consequences to them, and we need to actually go and negotiate with them again, and this time we need to come up with bigger offers to satisfy them, right? So Khatami, which is a former president of the Islamic Republic and also a major so-called reformist figure, probably we could be the leader of the reformist figures, probably like him and Rouhani are the biggest names in this camp, is now back. And the reason why he's back is probably because the people who actually do make the decisions are trying to use him as a way to also convince people within the regime that we need to surrender, and also to use them as a way to talk to the Americans and basically capitulate.
So who is behind that position, the surrender position? Like, who is the real
That's
authority?
So I would say main decision makers within IRGC, different camps within IRGC, because the power comes from the people who have the money and the guns, right? But it's more camps within the IRGC rather than specific people, right?
Interesting. Okay. So I mean, this might be a kind of a conflict between like the ideological IRGC and the cynical IRGC.
By cynical, you mean more pragmatic?
Yeah. I mean, well, I would say, like, because the expectation is that if you are IRGC, you are ideological, right? So that's the expectation. But at the same time, as you said, this is an organization that has a lot of economic agency, a lot of economic control, and military power and political power increasingly, right? So if you're an ambitious person, you might feign ideological commitment in order to to have some sort of authority and to have some sort of power. So now if you're such a person, you're looking at it and you're saying, like, we can't win. Yeah. Now, how do I preserve my power and my position? Versus the ideologues who are like, look, if we keep fighting and we are decimated, the Mahdi will come, right? And so everything is going according to plan.
I don't think here's an interesting thing. A lot of people look at the different segments and they say some people are ideological and some people are more pragmatic. I don't see it that way. I think the people who are doing what they're doing purely for ideology are the people who are being mobilized to serve a purpose. I think the ideology is, even for the so-called more ideological people, the ideology is a tool. I think both sides of this are being pragmatic, but for one side, leaning in more to the ideology is more beneficial for them for power and money and survival. And there's another side that leaning away from it somewhat is more in line with their power and their wealth and their survival ability. But I think both sides are almost most of their behavior on both sides could be explained on what's in their best interest financially, politically, militarily, and based on survival. So I think both sides are being pragmatic. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in that sense, like the ideology is really a skin suit for two different kind of camps of cynicism.
I get my power from the Durkas that are crazy. I'm going to pretend I'm crazy too, but I know this is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but if I can't, it's where I get my power, so I can't go back on it.
Yes. So I don't know how much they would admit to themselves personally that this is stupid, because sometimes the best way to lie is to just believe in your lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I think they call that. Oh my God. When you're so invested in something you don't want to pull out. Yeah. For it.
Sunk cost fallacy.
That's it.
Yeah, I think most people, it's easier to pretend when you don't really actually have to pretend. All right. And then Peter was saying that people are was encouraging people to and I always like him.
I want to say one comment on that last conversation, who is in charge. Dr. Ellert has a theory here. He knows who runs Iran. It's the Jews. Yes. They also took one of my shoes this morning. I'm very upset.
Actually, now that you highlighted that, let me bring up something. Okay, I want to prove to you guys, to the regime supporters, that it's the Jews who are actually running the Islamic Republic, because this is actually something that they're saying, right? And this is good for us that they're saying that, because many of the more jihadi-minded, Islamic-minded Iranians are turning against the regime because they think the Jews have taken over, and this is now a Zionist regime. And we would like to provide evidence for them that this is actually the case. So please go up and do an uprising against the regime, and we could just sit back and watch you guys fight, right? So I'm going to show you two videos, both from either 2 or 1 days old only. Like both of them are fresh and very recent. And which is absolute proof that your country is no longer Islamic, and you need to do something about it, or else you don't care about Islam, right? So please do an uprising, okay? We'll watch, we'll clap for you guys, right? So this is by the way, guys, I don't mean it. This is what they think, and we want to encourage it by providing evidence for it, so that we turn regime supporters against the regime, right? So this is in the Imam Reza shrine in Mashhad. This is also where Ali Khamenei is buried. And these people came with signs asking for revenge for killing Ali Khamenei, like asking for revenge. And the security there is taking their signs away. So people in the shrine of Imam Reza, which is one of the most Shia places in Iran, right? The holy Islamically holy places in Iran. And it's also a place where Ali Khamenei is buried. When they come with signs saying that we need to get revenge for the blood of our supreme leader, the security comes and takes their signs away. So let's watch this. So it's saying this is the shrine of Imam Reza. As you can see, the guard here, they will come and try to take your phone. This is why I'm going back, so he can't take my phone. And they also take people's signs away. You see the audacity here? Like, lady, why did he take your sign away? Why did you take the sign away? Give the signs back. She said he also tried to take this woman's phone away. So these are the same people that they came and hit the people. The reason why they're doing this is because we didn't say, like, we tolerated these people doing this, and now they're getting even more audacious. That's the cameraman is playing. Okay, so this is how the security of the shrine is treating the people who want to stand for the supreme leader, to fight for the supreme leader. That's how they're being treated. Okay, but let's look at in Tehran. Let's go in Tehran. Let's look at the women in the streets who are singing and dancing. Look, guys, look, women in Tehran are singing and dancing, and there's no guards. Nobody is arresting them. Nobody is sending security for them. Look at this. This is Ekbatan in Tehran.
When is this from?
Huh?
When is this?
Tehran.
No, when?
This is from yesterday.
From yesterday?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Can I ask a question about this?
Yes, of course.
Isn't it like long before Islam, like very traditional for Persians to have like a dance culture, a song culture? Aren't they like very musically inclined? Like isn't that the ancient root of the land and the people?
Yes. The Iranian people are Iran historically has been extremely obsessed with art, poetry, dancing, living, beauty, and nature, the beauties of nature. Celebrating.
I've heard some of the songs, and I think singing too, right?
Yeah. But what do you think about the contrast, though? The fact that, look, I mean, this is going to get on the nerves of the jihadis, right? They're like, look at us, like we're coming out and saying we want this the revenge for the supreme leader, and they don't let us. But all of this degeneracy, all of this singing and dancing and this nakedness, this Westernism, where is nobody? And not only they get to dance like this, they feel safe to record it with their faces in it and post it online, knowing that nobody's going to do anything about it. Like, this is not an Islamic land anymore. Like, this is like, we're not being ruled by Islam. This is a full coup d'etat. This is a Zionist takeover.
Yes, I understand that, but you gave me a warning about this, right? Because
Yes.
this is the easy freedom. The easy freedom is the
Yes.
social freedom. The hard freedom is the political freedom, when you have to let the people decide who is in charge and the policies that will rule them. Like, they are allowing this so they can seem like they're granting freedom. But behind that, there is a darker undertone. I am happy that it's happening. I am happy that it's driving the Durkas wild, because it's showing that they will let go of every freedom that is convenient, but never allow them, even if the majority were Durkas, to rule. They would have their way.
So Monkey completely understands what's going on here. Okay, so on the Persian channel, what we said when we showed this is like, obviously, guys, we are not going to be fooled by this, right? We are not fighting for this. We're fighting for complete freedom. We're fighting for being able to choose our destiny. We're fighting for the end of the Islamic Republic and the return of Pahlavi. We're not fighting for just being able to dance just because right now it's not convenient for the Islamic Republic to enforce Islamic rules, right? However, we will also take full advantage of this to try to convince to get on the nerves of the pro-regime jihadi-minded people, as a way for us to make them more convinced that it's over for them and they need to fight against the regime. Like, as much as it's true that this is not what we're fighting for, we're also going to take advantage of the fact that it's going to cause internal division within the Islamic Republic, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this is just super weird. I'm looking at this. So you're saying this is Tehran yesterday, and so I don't know. Like, I guess my expectation is like, okay, this is a country at war, right? At an extremely difficult time, where electricity is restricted, and water is restricted, and food is extremely expensive, and yet, there's kind of some sort of performance in the street. This is not to say that people in war can't do performances, but there's just something deeply incongruous about this. It's hard for me to process what's going on, really. So yeah, I mean,
we have this. It has been like this for a few years now.
These kind of performances.
I mean, the more letting go of the less enforcement of the Islamic rules.
Right? Yes, right. I understand. But
I'd like to make
I'm just still puzzled just by the timing of this, right? Like, is this what? Because this looks like leisure to me. It just that's the appearance. This looks like leisure. This is like a leisurely activity. And
leisure, this type of activity goes up during these times, especially because people feel like there might not be a few tomorrow, right? So a lot of Iranians have increased their leisure activity, not because they think the situation is good, but because they think that there might be no tomorrow to enjoy life.
Okay,
and the future is very dark. Go on, Monkey.
It has a dual purpose, because not stopping the spread of this gets the regime to say you people are lying, all these things about that you have to wear the hijab and hijab love. Look at this, the outsiders lie about us to excuse their war, blah 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 blah. That's one of the reasons they would allow it. The second reason they would allow it is a pressure release valve, right? They're having trouble with electricity. They're having trouble with rationing, I don't know, water, electricity, everything, right? So what are you going to do? Are you going to also not let them, drink but like, party their woes away? Are you not going to let them, like, they wouldn't let them gather in large numbers, but you're not going to even let them go out and like forget everything? So they are going to do that as a pressure release valve and as a propaganda tool.
Yes, exactly. But I forgot to read some I want to show you something exactly. Monkey really understands what's going on. This is a good job, Monkey. but I do want to answer highlight this. Peter was telling people to like the stream, and thank you, Peter. And then Javid was, bro, I thought I liked it, but when I checked the like, it was not there. And then he fixed the situation. Thank you for checking and then liking. Thank you, guys. Guys, check if you like the stream or not. Kevin, thank you so much for the membership gift. I appreciate you. Always supporting us. And Sherry with another super chat saying, I vote Armin to be the one to negotiate for Iran. Hello. Okay, thank you, Sherry. But obviously, and I use my, I know Sherry is joking, but like I do want to remind people that the true representative of the Iranian people is and will always be Princess of Pahlavi. Okay. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you saying that. And then, oh, Javid was saying, where's Guy? Is Shabbat right now, right? Yes.
Yes.
So,
I believe so.
Yes. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So Guy
Shabbat
cannot.
shalom.
Yes. So Guy takes Shabbat off, but I think he's going to be with us tomorrow, right?
Is tomorrow? I thought you said Monday.
Oh yes, Monday. Oh yeah, he's going to be. He. I don't know. He had some things to do, but he will be here on Monday. Yes, maybe. And thank you. Yeah, we will have him back. Don't worry. Guys will be back. So,
and I just saw that the likes are now at 119. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Peter, and thank you everybody who liked the stream.
Thank you. Let me show you a video, Sid, because maybe you haven't seen what the situation is like in Iran. This is from a year ago. Okay, let's see it. Let's look at the mall in Tehran. It's a nice mall, and see how many women are wearing hijab. Right. Let me share this. So look at this. This is a beautiful mall, wooden inside. So this is what the regime wants the world to see to make it seem like your country is doing good, right? Because instead of looking at data, right, and because look at this mall, right? Again, look at this is from a year ago. So these two women are not wearing hijab. That woman is wearing hijab. This is a mall. Okay, hijab here. Okay,
that was a giant bookstore, though, right? It looked like Hogwarts in there.
Yeah, look at the design. Yeah, exactly. So no hijab here. Look at this. This is a mall with a beautiful
very nice
interior design. Yeah. Oh, hijab there. 2 hijabs there. So now it's like less. Okay, non-hijab woman. Hijab there. Hijab, 2 hijab. So half hijab, no hijab. So right now is much less. But right now it's like hard to find hijabi people. But from a year ago, it was like okay, hijab.
This looks like winter.
Yeah. So I'm just counting. No hijab, half hijab, no hijab. Let me go forward.
Why I don't understand why they do this to a mall. It looks like a museum, or it's so gorgeous. Look at this place.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I know, right? Look at the sea. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
No,
like a place you'd get married or something, right?
Okay, let's go to the shopping area. Like, what is this? Oh, look at this. People are like, this is not Iran. Like, that's Ali Khamenei and Khomeini's pictures up there. Ali Khamenei and Ruhollah Khomeini. Yeah, I don't want to go there. Oh, there's a fountain here as well. Okay, so this is the shopping area. Finally, I was like, where are the stores? Okay, there's a little bit of store. Okay, so this is like a very, very high-end mall. Okay, finally some stores. Like, we're like this mall.
I don't think I can afford anything here.
Yeah, but this is like how, like, I don't know, like most Iranians don't live like this, right? But there's so many videos like this of Tehran online. And is this Tehran? Yes, this is Tehran. That people think like, oh, okay, so there's no problem. But then this gives you, okay, finally a store. This gives you a misunderstanding of how most Iranians are living. And so you can see it's been so Sid, it's been like this for a while, for a couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I guess that's not really what I'm talking about. Like I'm not really talking about the social easing. I'm just talking about the activity at wartime. But
Did you see
maybe
that? It says U.S. pizza.
Wait, let me go back. Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you, Sid. It was just
no,
shocking.
It's fine.
Did it say U.S. pizza? Sorry. I shouldn't have skipped like that. Okay, but go on, Sid. I'll try to find it. Go on.
No, it's not important. I mean, I stand corrected. Like, so, but yeah, I am aware of this. I was aware of this kind of social easing. But so this is. It seems like is this more or less limited to elite society, or is just
this is like the top 5%. They live like this.
okay?
And they could afford stuff in here.
So
I think, yeah.
So I mean, would this be would this be shocking to sort of people outside of elite society? Not necessarily not shocked by the social activity, but shocked by the this privilege that elites have.
Yes. Yeah. So in most Iranians, when they watch this video, they're like, "Oh, that's very nice. I would never be able to afford living like that."
Yeah.
So yeah, many Iranians would see this or like, "Holy crap, it must be nice."
Isn't this haram? What's going on here? U.S. pizza? I'm shocked.
Yeah,
This false advertising.
Yeah, American pizza. Go get. Yes, good thing you saw that, Monkey. I didn't even notice it. Yes, U.S. pizza in Tehran.
Do you think they would dare have like a Israeli shawarma?
Oh no, that would be too far. Jewish, maybe.
Jewish, okay, Jewish.
Casey is right. This is false advertising. This is used to show that Iran is doing fine, and more than half of Iran is now under the poverty line. So this is a misrepresentation. More than half of Iran was under the poverty line before all of this started, before this war started. So now
let me ask another question. How many of these people either are in the IRGC, have family in the IRGC, and that's why they can afford to go there?
Okay, so a lot of Iranians who don't live like this, some of them say online that if you live like this, you must be with the regime. Okay, I don't know how true that is, because my dad is wealthy. He lives in Iran. He's not with the IRGC, right? He's a heart surgeon. So I don't know, but maybe a high percentage of them. I don't know.
Like he might be exception, but not the rule.
Yeah, I don't have the stats on that. But there are many people in Iran who say if you're wealthy, you must be dirty, like, because there is no way to get wealthy in Iran other than being dirty. But I don't know how true that is. But that's a good question. Very good question. And Amir is saying shawarma Israeli. Yeah. Yeah, they should have that. I'm pretty sure once the Islamic Republic falls, there's going to be a lot of like, come get your Israeli this, Israeli that.
I don't know what shawarma is.
Shawarma is like oh my god, you should go get a shawarma today.
I'll try to find one. Do they come in the mail or
no? You can think of it as like a Middle Eastern burger. So but it's it's often served in a pita. I mean, sometimes it doesn't have to be in bread, but it's often served in a pita bread, and has stuff with like different salads and pickles and things like that, and the meat is extremely flavorful. It's like on a rotisserie, kind of like a hero, like a Greek hero or something, like a Turkish kebab type of thing.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Similar to that, but I gotta say, like when I go to Israel, like the first thing I gotta do is I gotta get a real shawarma.
there is a war between Jews and Arab in Israel that has nothing to do with the conflict, right? There's a friendly war between Jews and Arab in Israel.
Yes.
And when I was in Israel, I noticed it. And it's about which one is the better, who makes the better shawarma. Or do Arabs make better shawarma or Jews make better shawarma? And my Jewish friends with me, they were telling me that the Arabs make better shawarma, and I thought that they were betraying their own their own people. But there is this friendly war between Arab and Jews, Israeli Arab and Jews, on who makes the best shawarma.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Arabs are great at hospitality and great at food. So that's just that's just the reality. We have to accept that.
The Jews in Israel agree. When I was in Jerusalem and Shabbat, I didn't know we almost died in Jerusalem from starvation during Shabbat because we couldn't find a single place to eat. There was nowhere to eat. Like, what the hell? Like we were trying to find food in Jerusalem, and everything was closed, and we were starving, and we couldn't find anybody. And we were like, how do we get food? And then finally somebody told us, like, oh, everybody, all the Jews who want to eat, they just go to the nearby city, which is an Arab city. And we're like, oh. And then we got in a car and we got there. And the Arab city next to Jerusalem, all the Jews were there. The restaurants were filled with like Jews eating at the Arab restaurant. So it was like, oh my god. So yeah. So during Shabbat, that city makes a lot of money from the Jews coming from Jerusalem to there to eat. Yes, Armin experienced the starvation genocide in Israel. Yes, and the Arabs saved me. Yes, and they saved the Jews as well. Anyways. Let's go finally to this video and see what's happening here.
The Trump administration.
Oh, wait, did we read the super chats? No. Tinley with a super chat saying no pepperoni pizza in the Islamic Republic, only pineapple. Travesty. Yes, that's the crime. That's a true crime in Iran that has happened. In Iran, not the Islamic Republic. Yes, but actually, I like pineapple. Wait, is it okay to say this? I don't know if you guys are going to forgive me, but I love Hawaiian pizza. Thank you, Tinley, for the super chat. And Amir saying in Tehran, that would be awesome. Yes. Israeli shawarmas in Tehran, that would be awesome. Imagine that.
That'll be the day. I'm looking forward to. Dr. Ellert and I can go there to have a shawarma in Tehran.
Yes. All right. Let's finish this.
Administration says it's ready to unleash maximum economic pressure on Iran. Jonathan Hunt joins us now from Tel Aviv with the latest. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning to you guys. In response to those comments from President Trump, Iran issuing a new predictably belligerent statement today, suggesting that Gulf neighbors are already looking forward towards a new post-war order that might sideline the U.S. The parliamentary speaker, Mohammed Ghalibaf, saying on X today, quote, "We've received numerous messages from neighboring countries about shaping new security arrangements and economic cooperation in the region. The United States put the security of every single one of its allies at such risk through bullying and pure disregard for their interests for the sake of Israel."
Oh my god, we are the ones who are shooting missiles at them, but it's the United States that is putting their security at risk. Wow, the United States is putting their security at risk by not protecting them against our missiles. The audacity. Imagine if you're like robbing someone's house and then criticizing the police for not showing up in time and telling the neighbor that you're robbing while you're robbing them that, like, oh my god, look at this, there's no cops here, isn't this bad for your security, while you're robbing them. This is what is happening. I don't know, this is amazing.
Well, yeah, well, I would just say, I mean, so this is literally retarded, but it's surprisingly effective, I mean, so this is basically moral inversion, right? This is moral inversion. I mean, this is the biggest bully in the region. And it has been bullying for a half a century. and it's bullying all its neighbors, right? And it's I mean, shaping new security arrangements and economic cooperation. I mean, this is like all they do is practice economic sabotage and security sabotage. I mean, look at Yemen, look at Syria. I mean, this is just a disaster. Anywhere they show up, it's like a complete disaster. But there's a lot of people who will buy this. There's a lot of people who will buy this, even inside those countries that have been attacked, which is what's so sad about it.
Well, I think it's projection, and it's also, I mean, you know, we receive numerous messages about countries shaping new security arrangements. Capish?
Yeah.
It would be a shame if something happened to this country you got over here, but if you just pay me a little protection money. You know what the difference between a security guard and a mafia extortionist? If you don't pay the security guard, he's just going to leave. If you don't pay the mafia, they're going to destroy your business.
And break your leg.
And break your legs.
Yes.
This is extortion.
Yes. The difference is that they're providing security against the threat that is themselves.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the police and the mafia.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
This is projection.
Right. How dare the Americans not provide you safety against our threats? Wow. Okay.
Well, now, the economic pressure is beginning to bite in Iran. There is no doubt about that. And therefore, Galibaf's comments are not uniformly shared. In fact, Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, said just yesterday that it might be time to, quote, end the war today. President Trump picked up on that. He obviously hopes that the moderate wing of the leadership in Iran will ultimately be the one that wins out. Here's President Trump.
They are now coming around because there's not much they can say. When a country doesn't have any longer a Navy, an Air Force, radar, technical equipment, manufacturing, their leaders are gone. Their second set of leaders are gone. Parts of their third set of the leaders. In fact, it's actually one of my biggest problems. I don't know who the hell to deal with. It's a problem.
See?
Now, on Monday, Treasury...
This goes back to the question of somebody asking who's in charge in Iran. President Trump is saying, I don't know who to do. I don't know. We're not negotiating because we don't even know who to negotiate with. Right? This is a confirmation of that.
Yes.
Big problem. Yeah.
Well, even when they are in charge, they pretend they're, oh my God, who shot that missile? I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even when they're unified, they do the bad thing and pretend they're not in control, or they're actually not in control. So no matter what you do, you can't recognize this as an actual government. I think this pattern has been demonstrable. Like, even if the administration knew that this was going on, that knew, like, look, they're not very solid. And when they are acting unified, they pretend they're not. So, you know, this is like just another reason to declare it not a real government and need transitional government.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If nobody is in charge, then there's no government. Exactly.
It's a problem.
Now, on Monday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will lay out a whole new raft of sanctions to isolate Iran. That won't be easy as you look at the map there. Iran shares borders, land borders, with 7 different countries, not all of whom are sympathetic to the United States. To the north there, you see the Caspian Sea. That gives them a direct route into and out of Russia. There's also increasing use of rail links over land to China. So it will be interesting, guys, to see on Monday what proposals Scott Bessent may lay out for getting Russia and China on board with a new sanctions regime. Those two, of course, have very little interest in helping the U.S.
Okay. Kaveh. So, guys, if you guys want to add anything, just tell me. But Kaveh, it seems like he's watching our show, and he wanted me to show you 2 more things. So, Iranian people, like because we were watching how Iranian people are living, and he just sent me 2 more videos to show how, because there is extreme poverty, and most Iranian people can't afford it. But at the same time, even in the middle of all of this, there are a lot of really rich people who are not only living very rich lives, but they're also putting it out for people to see. So in the middle of many Iranian people not even being able to afford like their basic needs, like I showed you videos of people, cutting like half of the tomato for their entire day because they want to make sure that they don't consume a full tomato for that day, right? But look at how some other Iranians are living, and this gets on the nerve of Iranians, like when they see this on social media. So let me play this. This is Tehran. You can see this is Tehran because of the Milad Tower, right? I'm crazy like a fool. Okay. I'm gonna mute this. So this is a new cafe that opened.
That was a very odd
Tehran.
umbrella.
Yeah. Yes. So this is a cafe that opened. Fancy cafe. Oh, look at this. This guy has his dog in Tehran.
Wait
haram.
a minute. Isn't that haram?
That is haram. But it doesn't apply to this guy. He's rich, I guess. Nobody's gonna.
Well, I guess if you're blind, you're allowed, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't look blind though. He had a car.
If to tie. No. People have dogs. People walk their dogs in Tehran. It's illegal, but they do it. Many
I bet
people
they're
have
expensive dogs.
Yes. And look at this. This is the same cafe that just opened. Okay, I think this is also copyrighted. Oh, was that Zanjani? Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, it is. That's it, guys. This is. Oh my God, guys. Babak Zanjani, Cafe FTT Aghay Babak Zanjani. Guys, this is the guy that moves money for the Islamic Republic. This is the guy. So it's his cafe. This is the guy that that moves billions of dollars for the Islamic Republic in gold and cryptocurrency, and he has a whole. This guy should I don't know why he's still alive, because the Islamic Republic will lose a lot of its ability to move around money if this guy dies. In fact, he stole a lot of money from the Islamic Republic, and he got the death sentence for it. But he had so much ability to move money for the Islamic Republic that he was pardoned. He was pardoned, and he went back to his job, even though he stole billions from the Islamic Republic. So this is
even at
this.
So
even
what
at
is this
1%, he would be astronomically wealthy, right?
Oh my God, this guy has God amount of money. This guy is like so much money, like
Because
crazy.
you're just charging 1% of the amount you're laundering. Like if you're money laundering, that's basically what you do. He's a money launderer, right? He's washing money in and out through shell accounts or whatever, making it appear somewhere else clean, so he can get the benefit. Or that's pretty much some of what he does. Puts it into stores. Puts it like this is probably a money laundering vehicle.
Yes, he is. He works with Binance. He works with his own crypto. He has set up his own crypto operations. He's like a mastermind of getting around the sanctions, and he takes his own cuts without permission. So he took. There's so much money that disappeared from the Islamic Republic that the Islamic Republic can't do anything about it because they need him. So he's extorting he's doing extortion on the Islamic Republic. Yeah, too big to jail. Exactly. He was on death row, and they admitted, it was public on state TV that this guy stole billions of dollars from us, and then he got pardoned because he's just too useful, and he has so many networks that nobody else has. But so now I realize that
back.
Yeah, he never paid it back. Yeah, but so this is his cafe. Now I get it. So this is why Iranian people say when you see a giant, beautiful mall like that, or if you see a fancy cafe like this, it's Islamic. Like the people who own it are part of the Islamic Republic. It's the IRGC. It's people like Zanjani.
But they didn't even claim that he paid it back. They just admitted, hey, he's too big to jail. They never no, he gave it back. It was a misunderstanding, whatever. No, they just said he's too big to jail.
No, they didn't even say that. They didn't even explain that. They didn't even say they just freed him. No explanation.
So, Armin, is this like this looks to me like the IR is offering decadence to its elites in exchange for compliance,
Yes.
because the elites
Yeah.
are among the most anti-regime, most pro-Western, and they're saying, "Hey, look, instead of agitating against us, you can just live large."
I didn't see a
Yeah,
single
I mean,
hijab.
yeah, not a single hijab. And again, guys, this guy is one of the most important people within the Islamic Republic, this Babak Zanjani guy. And his ads for his cafe are women without hijab. Right? So it's like,
What are they gonna do? Jail him?
yeah, yeah. It's just such a upside down world there. That looks like AOC with the fan. Okay, I don't know, but yeah. So by the way, this is why the Iranian people get so angry, right? Because they have to pay the price for the Islamic Republic decisions, and they don't. They don't have to pay the price. They're doing fine.
Yeah.
That does look like good food. I mean, I don't like the people, but the food looks like
Right. Oh, we got a hold on before let me go to this one, but we got a super chat by Elisheva saying thoughts on deportation of Iranians in Canada, specifically ex conscripts. Have a happy day. Oh yeah. So Canada apparently has this new thing that people who served in the IRGC are getting deported. The people, not the citizens, but the people who are permanent residents and visa holders, like work visa holders or student visa holders. If you have been working with the IRGC, Canada is kicking you out of Canada. And this is making a lot of Iranians concerned because they did military service, mandatory military service. And some Iranians who did military service did it with the Artesh, and some of them did it with IRGC. So the people who did it with IRGC are kind of in trouble right now. So I have my military service card here. So I got lucky. I mean, I didn't do military service. I just paid for this, right? But I was lucky that my card is me serving, claiming that I served with the Artesh, not with the IRGC. Okay, so if this had IRGC anywhere on it, I would be like me. I don't know what would happen. I mean, I'm a citizen, so I don't have to worry about it. But this, maybe I would have some issues, right? So, but anybody who did their mandatory military service with the IRGC, they now have to go prove. I don't know how it works, but apparently in Canada, they have to now go prove that ideologically they're not aligned with the Islamic Republic. So
couldn't that also lead to proving your wait a minute, because this is tricky. Wouldn't you wind up proving you're an Islamophobe?
Yeah, what you have to prove that you're an Islamophobe. What? What?
Yeah, because the
Canada-
IRGC is very Islamic. Like, how can we
Yes.
tell that you're against the IRGC? I hate Islam. Islamophobe. We
Yes.
got you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
didn't
yes.
say that? Didn't Mark Carney say that Canadian values are Muslim values?
Yes, but now to say in Canada, you have to prove that you're an Islamophobe. So I don't know.
Like, damned if you do, damned if you. Well, that's $100 fine. You get to stay, but you got to pay the Islamophobia fine. It's the Canadian jizya.
So I don't know. You have to be against Islam enough so that you can stay in Canada, but not too much, so that we don't kick you out because you're a bigot.
Fine balance.
Yes, you have to find the middle ground here. Yes. Like, oh wow, you're so Islamophobic. Okay, so now we're not going to kick you out because you were served for the IRGC. We're going to kick you out because you're an Islamophobe. So we're different. We're going to kick you out for a different reason. Right? Wow. But it is a tough situation. So many Iranians in Canada are concerned. They're contacting lawyers. They're asking for help. Like, what am I supposed to prove? How can I show that I'm not with IRGC? What does this even mean? So it's causing a lot of confusion and fear among Iranian diaspora in Canada.
There were like some very public in USA. Basically they got kicked out, but these were people like tied to high level regimes, people, and usually by family. Because I remember the daughters of some people got kicked out of California, I think it was, and they were showing the videos of like these people out there in bikini, but their parents over in Iran are putting the law down about hijab. But I think that was what was happening in USA is different because it was more tied to families and high level IRGC people.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So and yeah, and I think that's what people should do. I don't understand this law in this new law in Canada. Like the mandatory military service, like they had no choice in that. Like, shouldn't they just go after people who signed up to serve at the IRGC? Why are they going after people who serve at the IRGC? Like, I don't understand this rule.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think ideology is a bigger problem, right, than military service. And I think there are a lot of people in Canada and in the US broadcasting their ideological opposition to their host countries. And those are the people we need to worry about. Oh, sleepers as well.
Yes. Yes. And okay, so people, Dog USA is agreeing with me, and Casey is saying, make them say Javid Shah. Yeah. Canada, you have to say Javid Shah to stay in Canada. I mean, Canada is a monarchy, so
right. That's true.
Yeah, it works well with that. Yeah. Oh yeah. So a citizen is saying, just think Ukraine has done more to stop IRGC than Europe. Well, technically, Ukraine is Europe. They're part of Europe. But yes, more than rest of Europe.
Yeah, more
than NATO.
More than NATO, yes. True. And that's actually a very good point, because a lot of people don't know that a huge part of why there is no fuel right now, there's less fuel in Iran right now, is not just a US blockade. It's also Ukrainians hitting refiners in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Because the Russian refineries were the source of car fuel, gasoline in Iran. And Ukraine is actually also responsible for devastating the Islamic Republic right now.
And that's transported through the Caspian typically?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, hitting the refineries is really dropping the output tremendously.
Yes.
They were hitting the tankers too, but I think there was some talks to stop that. I don't know. I think that JD talked to them. I saw news about this like last week, I think it was.
Oh, to stop the Russian tankers?
Yeah, I think the Russian tankers were the ones delivering the gasoline.
Yeah, but I don't think that Ukraine would be hitting tankers in the Caspian. They probably mostly in the Black Sea is my guess. But I think the refinery, like hitting the refineries, is just going to restrict production overall. So that would have a downstream effect for Iran.
I'll take a look at it. You might be right about the location.
I mean, Ukraine has shown an ability to hit quite far from their own border, so it's entirely possible. I didn't hear that, but it's entirely possible that they've hit some capacity in the Caspian as well. That would be really interesting.
They did hit a ship in the Caspian that was bringing equipment for this.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, that was a huge deal. By the way,
but it wasn't a tanker, right? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, it wasn't a tanker. No. That's a good question. It wasn't a tanker. I think it was probably, if I had to guess, is drone components. Probably. If I had to guess, right?
Oh, from Iran to Russia.
No, from Russia to Iran.
Oh, okay. So Russia is exporting drone components.
Oh, yes. So right now,
for the Iranian designed drone.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Right now they need Russia for drone components, and China is sending them missile components, manpads, and the chemical stuff that you need for missile fuel through land routes. So China is getting give them missile. China is giving the Islamic Republic missile components, manpads, and the like the chemical material you need for rocket fuel. Russia is sending drone components to the Islamic Republic through the Caspian Sea.
So do you think? I mean, do you think? Do you think that Russia and China are? Well, I suppose it's probably multifactorial, but I suppose one benefit to them is sort of dragging the U.S. into a military quagmire. But then there's another benefit which might be just purely financial. Like Iran is desperate, and so maybe they could get good prices for their military hardware.
So for Russia, it's both financial and an attack on the U.S. For China, is mostly attack on U.S. It's not financial, right? So Russia gets dual benefit. China gets one benefit, mostly one benefit. So Russia gets dual benefit because the more United States is occupied with the Islamic Republic, the less they can support Ukraine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So want to keep them busy there. And also higher fuel prices, higher energy prices is good for Russia because they're an energy exporter, right? So it's a good thing that Ukraine has made that benefit very little to them by making it very difficult for them to export their oil, their energy, while oil prices are higher. So, but it's dual purpose for Russia. For China, is not dual purpose; it's one purpose: keeping United States busy around the Persian Gulf, so there's less stuff around the Pacific for China, right? But for energy, China doesn't benefit in the way that Russia benefits because China is an energy importer rather than an energy exporter. However, China benefits from the Ukraine war because it makes Russia dependent on China. So
right, yeah. So that's what I was getting at, because my understanding of China's posture towards Russia has been that they haven't been so they've been cooperating economically and trading, but at very favorable prices. So it's not. It seems to be like they're benefiting from. They're not necessarily supporting Russia strategically as much as they're taking advantage of Russia's weakness economically. So and maybe they're even positioning themselves strategically to benefit at Russia's expense, right? Like looking at Eastern Russia and their own territorial claims there, and increasingly thinking like, okay, we can sort of reclaim this territory ourselves. So
specifically that, yes, specifically the territorial claims.
Yeah, because
Russia wants to make a deal to make the oil cheaper, and China wants to make a deal to get that oil land back.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that like there is it doesn't seem like China's and that's why I'm wondering about Iran too. I mean, maybe your analysis, I'm sure your analysis is better than mine, but I'm just curious at that stage, because it does seem like China's partnership is not really purely strategic. It seems like they're looking at their so-called partners as marks, right, to take advantage of as well.
There's territory that they both claim, and that is very highly disputed. People see, oh, China and Russia, the unbreakable union. Not at all. China doesn't trust anybody. Russia doesn't trust anybody. If you look at their maps, there's overlap, meaning places they both claim. And on the Caspian Sea thing, you were right. What they were talking about was the Caspian Pipeline Consortium. They don't want the Ukrainians to hit the pipes, but the ships that they were hitting were on the Black Sea, except for the transport vehicles. So just confirming what you guys said, and specifically, Sid is right about the land disputes. It's a very, nebulous, a friendship there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long-standing rivalry, and so they have some common interests, but they are not friends. And I think even I saw somewhere some Russian intelligence officials had said that China is our biggest adversary relatively recently, like within the last year or so. So yeah, so and I just want to point this out because I think that like there's a lot of talk, which I think is sort of like a kind of doomer talk about the rising Russia and the multipolar world, and or rising China, sorry, and the multipolar world, and so on. Like, I think that what people don't necessarily register is how difficult it is for despotic states to have real friends. They end up attracting each other, right? So they're forced to cooperate with other despots, and that in itself is a weakness.
Look, I saw a brilliant street philosopher doing some protests in Asia say China is asshole. I think they got trouble with everybody, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me go to some super chats. Justin saying Ghalibov just won the gold medal for projection skills with that post. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghalibov is a champ.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, oh my God. United States is responsible for the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf not being safe. Amazing. Unbelievable. Safe against what? Safety against what? You are the reason. Unbelievable. Yes. Ahef, thank you so much for the super chat saying Islam can kiss my Yankee Doodle ass. Okay. This country was born from rebellion and achieved more in 250 years than Islam has in 2,000 years. Well, technically, Islam has achieved nothing. Like
negative.
It's negative contribution. Yes, negative. Okay, it's not even positive. Yes, in 14.
I don't think Islam is that old though.
No, it's not that old. It's not 2,000.
It's not 2,000 years, right?
Yeah,
it's 1400. Yes. Yeah.
But so we'll give him the other 600, and it still doesn't help.
Yes, it doesn't. Yeah, and said we'll do it again. Yes. Yeah. Actually. As much as the United States has contributed to the world in the first 250 years, I think it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what they're going to do in the second 250 years. People think that it's going to be less. I think it's going to be significantly more. Okay, and this is something that a lot of people think I'm exaggerating, but this is something that I'm very optimistic about.
Yeah,
and thank you, Ahef.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, I mean, the thing is, like, people look at the U.S. and say it's a declining power or whatever, but I think you have to understand that America has gone through ups and downs before. It's gone through major crises before. Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, not everything is great, and there are some problems and some big problems and big challenges, but it doesn't mean that we can't solve them.
Canadians burned our White House.
Huh?
The Canadians burned our White House.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah. And look at us now. And look at Canada.
Okay. I see you.
Yes. All right. Yeah. No, but yeah. No, it's been people predicting that it's the end of U.S. empire forever. And every time it just got stronger and stronger. And thank you, Ahef, for the super chat. Speaking of Canada, Zipgun with another super chat saying Canadian law is unenforceable. Just an attempt to take talking points for conservatives. Just an attempt to take talking points away from conservatives. Oh, so you're saying this is the reason why they have this law to show like, look, we're being tough on IRGC. I see.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
The implementation might not be as harsh or have as many follow-ups as thought. Just a headline grabber.
Maybe. Interesting.
So
make the news.
Zipgun, are you talking about like compelled speech laws? Is that what it is? And that it's sort of sneaking in anti-IRGC? No?
Oh. I think my understanding is that he's saying that they're just virtue signaling by putting this law saying that we're going after IRGC without actually doing anything much about it against IRGC.
Okay, so one other alternate interpretation, maybe Zipgun can clarify, is that the laws intended to target IRGC are also restricting conservatives.
Oh. No, I don't think that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Maybe you're right.
I may be wrong. That's how I read it for a second there. So
As a separate interpretation, I would understand it, because if you have some kind of data that you're not want to show everybody, but it shows that most people who are forced to serve the IRGC are conservative, going after them and trying to kick them out. If you're a liberal, would be like, hey, I'm pretending to be conservative, but I'm actually getting rid of the competition. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know if there's data
Right.
on most IRGC who were compelled to serve being anti-IRGC.
wait, so are IRGC compelled to serve?
IRGC compelled to, what do you mean? Like people are compelled to serve in IRGC as part of their military service.
Okay, so they're just assigned to IRGC or Artesh.
Yes, you could be assigned to IRGC or Artesh.
I see. So okay,
so if you get assigned to IRGC, you're kind of screwed, because you now have been working with a internationally recognized terrorist organization. Right. So you always, if you want to escape Iran, you will always have that on your connected to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You work with
so I assumed, but obviously incorrectly, that there was some sort of ideological screening that was happening for that as well.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
No. Yeah.
But this is my question: are most who were forced, like conscripted into IRG service, are most of the expats that went through that anti-IRGC? Would removing them remove a whole bunch of conservatives? Or at least people that are against Islam?
Yes.
Would you remove them if you remove those people? In the majority, not all of them, but
majority.
So
I would say,
that makes it a little more interesting.
Right. Okay. So what Monkey is saying is that if there is a law designed to target former IRGC in Canada, but those IRGC are more likely to be anti-regime, then this is actually a law that benefits the regime.
Yes.
And the liberals, the labor, or whatever they are in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, because that's true, because the Iranian diaspora in Canada are more likely to vote conservative, very more likely to vote conservative. So finding you actually, Monkey, that's a very interesting thought.
I think that's what
Iranians out.
Right?
Yeah, I mean that's yeah. I mean, I didn't think of it that way. I assumed that like ex-IRGC were pretty ideologically committed to the regime, but it sounds like the opposite is true. And so if the opposite is true, and then these people are particularly motivated, right, to encourage Canadian policy to be anti-regime, then so this is an instance where you could see a liberal government sort of and the regime sort of collaborating on a policy that undermines both conservatives and anti-regime forces.
Would they look at those protests and say, this is a voter bloc that's going to vote for conservative? How do we get them out?
Yeah.
And use that as a method.
That's messed up.
But thank you, Zipgun, because he kind of set me off and you off in this kind of like in this route, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even consider that, Monkey. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
Yeah. And evil.
And diabolical.
Right.
I credit Zipgun.
Yeah, thank you, Zipgun.
Zipgun with another super chat saying it's unenforceable, meaning that they aren't going to invest in all the investigation necessary to find them, or maybe the investigation to find actually who's actually a problem and who's not. It's more of an anti-Iranian. This is why Pierre Poilievre, he's the head of the Conservative Party, is now meeting with Princess of Pahlavi, appealing to the Iranian people, because the head of the Conservative Party is realizing that the Iranian voter base in Canada is more likely to vote conservative, and this is like a voter base that they need to appeal to. And this might be a way for the liberals in Canada to pretend that they are anti-IRGC, but they're actually anti-Iranian.
Like a counter move to Poilievre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good on Poilievre for doing that outreach, and I mean, I think it makes sense. And one of my great frustrations is the degree to which sort of IR talking points are infiltrating Western leftist, center-left parties.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to read this. I don't know, Robert Bruce. Okay, so this post got 11,000 likes, so that means a lot of people agree with it, and got like 250,000 views. So let's see what this guy is saying. Saying countries should learn from Iran what real strategic thinking looks like. Today, Scott Bessent announced that the U.S. would impose such tough sanctions on Iran that it would cripple its entire economy. Meanwhile, Iran, he means Islamic Republic, but he had to put the lion and sun flag there because Twitter changed it to lion and sun flag, which I love. Iran
What a clown. Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Iran announced that any country that enforces U.S. sanctions will have its ships permanently banned from crossing the Strait of Hormuz. One move, and Iran has put the entire plan in checkmate. This is what strategic thinking looks like. Oh my God, this is such cope. What are you talking about? The Islamic Republic doesn't have, like, even CNN admitted that the Islamic Republic has lost full control over the Strait of Hormuz. They can't even effectively target the commercial ships there anymore because all of their radar has been blown up in southern Iran. So they're basically running blind. And even CNN admitted that US has now control and over the Strait of Hormuz, and Reuters admitted that many ships are going through the southern parts of the Strait of Hormuz, and the Islamic Republic has lost control over it. So I don't know what this guy is saying. Okay, they could announce like, okay, if you do this, we will do that. Okay, sure, but you can't. This is such coping. 11,000 people like this.
I mean, did anything change though with regards to the Strait? I don't really understand what changed.
Armin, I'm banning you from France. I have no power over France or the way to get there, but you're banned.
You're out. You're out, Armin.
Okay.
I made an announcement, don't you know?
I've been to France 3 times, so I'll be okay.
Well, that's the last
I'm
time.
so jealous. France, Japan. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I've been to 34 countries at least, Monkey. So, yeah.
You're like a globetrotter, but not a Harlem globetrotter.
You should ban me from a country I haven't been to and I want to go to. I haven't been to Greece, and I want to go.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
No.
I'm not banning you anyway.
Oh, that's one ban that Monkey could enforce.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I won't ban you. I won't ban you from Iran. Okay, since you didn't ban me from Puerto Rico. Okay, I'll ban you from Bangladesh. That's good. Okay, Monkey, now that we're having fun, can you, oh my God, this is big. What is this? Monkey, is that okay? I know it's like big, but would you read this?
You gotta make it a little bigger. Okay, there, I can read it there. Okay, so Donald Trump has a report for us. Tucker Carlson just met with lightweight former Congressman Thomas Massey and Marjorie Trader Greene. All losers all. Tucker's views have fallen through the floor and will only get worse. Nobody cares about him any longer, and that he has become totally irrelevant and happens to be, surprisingly, a very low IQ individual. He could barely get out of college, and maybe he didn't, but only really dumb people can make it through that wonderful 4-year time in life. Tucker wants to run a political office, but he should be required to take a cognitive test. He's got no chance, but could probably take a couple of points away from whatever Republican ticket he happens to be on. Tucker is a loser and always has been. Marjorie Taylor Brown. Green turns to brown under stress. Oh, she crapped it. Okay. A highly neurotic young woman went from ultra-conservative to a liberal fool. All in this matter of weeks because I refused to return her phone calls. That was kind of crazy. Not because I didn't like her, just because I had no time. I hate it when they get like that. She was way down in the polls in Georgia because I took away my endorsement and would have had no chance at winning. So she, just like everyone else, quit. Thomas Massey has turned out to be a failed politician and a real jerk. He thought it was always wonderful to vote no on everything, no matter how good, strong, or proper the legislation would be. What a team this would be. 3 losers and a pocket full of change. The only chance they have is to join the radical left-wing Democrats and try breaking into the primary system. To all of them I say, praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump.
To all of them I say, praise be to Allah. Oh my God. Wow.
Look, at some point you're so anti-Israel that you're just, a Mohammedan.
Oh my God. And Thomas Massey responded. Thomas Massey said, Trump's getting roasted today for his disastrous beef policy. The debt had $40 trillion because of his big, beautiful bill. He stepped in it in Iran, and he's weeks away from failing his midterm in November. He posted this because we are the 3 he would have listened to. We are the 3 he would have listened to. He should have. Sorry, we are the 3 he should have listened to. So, what do you guys think about all of this?
What do I think? I basically think Trump's analysis is right. I mean, I don't think Tucker Carlson is low IQ, but I think they're off the rails, and they have so far demonstrated irrelevance, at least electoral irrelevance. So they really can't cobble together an electoral movement. And also he said something about, what did he say about the radical left? Can you show it again, Armin?
Oh, yep. Sorry.
That's their only chance.
Yeah. And I've been saying that, I really thought if these guys are smart, both the radical leftists and the woke right, I mean, I thought if they were smart, they would partner, because they have the anti-Zionism in common, and they increasingly have leftist economic policies in common.
But the left loves purity testing,
right? And so it seems like it's really difficult, and nobody's going to buy in like that. Certainly the left is not going to buy into this coalition. So so far they haven't been able to do it, and so I think that Trump's analysis of their irrelevance is correct, right? That so far they've proven to be really irrelevant, electorally irrelevant, and it suggests that a lot of their sort of social media following is bots and foreigners.
There's another aspect here when okay, let's say they are irrelevant, but what's the intent? The intent is to split the right. And this has been my suspicion of the woke right, for a long time. Their intent is to split the right. I imagined that this was going to happen. And when they started, not all the time, I'm not a super psychic, right? But as soon as some of the right started saying, oh, Trump betrayed us, we can't vote for Trump, I'm like, okay, these guys are trying to split the right. Because they can't go to the left. The left is going to purity test them completely out of there. Right. So the only chance that they have to be relevant is gain funding from the people that want to fund a split on the right. I think they're not trying to win. They're trying to get money from people that want a split on the right so they can win on the left.
Do you guys think that and this is a good promotion for them, though? Like President Trump posting this, he's saying they're so irrelevant, no one listens to them. So one pushback would be then why are you posting about them constantly? Why are you mentioning their name? And aren't you making them more relevant when the president of the United States constantly mentions them?
Yeah, so I would just say this, like, I have my issues with Trump, and I've talked about them before. But when I look at the politics of this particular exchange, I see Trump really getting the better of Massey here, and the reason why is because Massey is just so dour and boring, and Trump is very entertaining, and that's in politics that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing for policy, I would say, but from a politics perspective, I just really think that this is what's happening. Like he's calling them out as just like really kind of boring and dour and sour people, and Massey is leaning into it.
My problem with this post is that doesn't attack the central the root of it. Like I would place the central problem here is that these people are being paid by outsiders to split the right. This is a deception. These people are basically trying to hoodwink you into pretending that isolationism is good for the US. It absolutely isn't. And you should look at every cent of their funding. I'd bring up Maruk, who's the guy that funds Thomas Massey. I'd bring the foreigner that funds Tucker Carlson, and I would bring up the same Farouk who was paying Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like these people aren't just funded by outsiders; they're paying by outsiders who hate America and love terrorism.
No, so I agree with you, Monkey. But I think that's our role, right? To highlight those kind of things. But Trump's role is to call them losers, and which he's doing, right? And he's doing it on the back of a very poor election performance in the primaries, right? For all those guys. So and I think that's like it does feel like they have been tested as far as what kind of electoral influence do you really have, and they don't have any. They don't have any. And now the question is, okay, can they band together with the radical left? Because it seems like to me that there's an opportunity there, but I don't see them doing that either. So
I think he should definitely attack the funding, because the thing that they attack most about Trump is that he is being like he's being controlled from the outside. He's being controlled by Israel, controlled by the outside. You're being controlled from the outside. Well, let's look at who's really being controlled from the outside. It's you. The reason I think he specifically should do that, because that's exactly the accusation they make of him, that Bibi controls him, that the outside controls him. And when it's like, okay, you're just projecting, you're the one that's controlled from the outside. That's why it will be effective, because it's a mirror.
no, look, you make a good point. I just think I think that Trump is more like he's more like a sledgehammer. He's not a scalpel, and his attacks tend to be very sort of like blunt and broad, rather than surgical. So it's just his nature. I mean, yeah, probably you're right that he could that if he did that kind of attack, it would land, but that's just not his his go-to move. Yeah.
A 2-page basic tweet is a bit of a swinging a sledgehammer. I have to agree.
But again, I want to repeat my question. Don't you? I mean, I know Thomas Massey and people are like this are boring, but President Trump is very entertaining. So if you leave them alone, they will become more and more irrelevant. But when the president of the United States is talking about them, then wouldn't he be shining a light on them and make them? Isn't this free advertising for them?
So I think we have to look at the track record of people that Trump has antagonized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like people like Rosie O'Donnell. What was it, like Michael Cohen, and what was that? Oh, anyway, I don't really have it off the top of my head, unfortunately, but there's a long list of people. Chris Christie, tons of people that Trump has taken a lot of glee in antagonizing online, and all of them have just sort of like drifted off into obscurity, or joined him. People like Vance and Rubio and so on, right? So Jeff Sessions is another guy I could think of. So there's he has a long list that he really enjoys antagonizing people, and I really don't see the evidence that people have benefited from that antagonism long term.
I would say that this could also be a shot across the bow for anyone basically living in the like I call them busy American or Walmart Americans. People that don't tune in too much, or they're too busy to tune in.
Mhm.
If you didn't know that I don't like these people, and these people are trying to form an opposing party, here's your public service announcement. I don't think they will benefit from it, but I don't think it's not what I would do, but I get why he's doing it. That's the way I would put it. I don't think it's going to benefit them.
Okay.
Yeah, so Casey pointed out this, and this is why Michael Cohen actually popped into my head, because I hadn't heard nothing about Michael Cohen until this event. So it seems like they've buried the hatchet, but they've buried the hatchet on Trump's terms.
Okay. So I think we discussed this enough, but I want to go to the next video now. Trump is saying, if we lose the midterm, I'm going to be impeached. They're going to impeach me. They have no idea why. So, okay, so this seems to be a concern for President Trump. Let's listen to this.
Years ago, they're going to flee our country. I'm going to be impeached. They're going to impeach me. They have no idea why. I saw today a congressman said on one of the shows, we're going to impeach President Trump. We're going to impeach. Oh, really? Why? The person was asking. A neutral commentator for a change. I like neutral commentators. Oh, I see. You're going to impeach him. Why? Well, I don't know. I don't know.
So Trump, he seemed. How much of a issue do you think this is going to be? Like, if they lose the Republicans, there's a midterm, is President Trump going to be able to, like, are they going to impeach him? And if yes, is that going to make President Trump much less effective in the second half of his second term?
I think he's responding to a threat of impeachment. I think they probably will, just to waste time and distract, just because they love wasting time and distracting. But an impeachment is an accusation. It's like filing a complaint at the police station, right? They have to investigate it. That's the whole impeachment process. And if enough is found to go to a trial, then it would go to a trial in the Senate, right? That's not the whole process, right? So it's trying to say, oh, we're going to impeach him. That's like saying, I'm going to accuse you. I'm going to accuse you. I'm going to force an investigation that may lead to nothing, right? That's basically what an impeachment is. So they're basically threatening to start a process in the Senate that is an incredible distraction, and it takes away attention from things that actually do matter. That's the threat. And I absolutely believe they would do that if they had the power to.
Somebody in the chat was saying impeachment doesn't matter. Is that true?
Well, in his case, yeah. It wouldn't really, it's a distraction, because an impeachment is not the full process. It has to go through Congress and Senate, and like this is it's basically an accusation.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. Like, I think that looking back like 20 years ago or so, like, impeachment was a big deal. But I think that now it just feels extremely political. So there's the impeachment, and then there's which happens in the House, the conviction, which has to happen in the Senate, and the standard is extremely high. It's actually quite difficult to do. So it ends up being kind of a political theater. It's a constitutional process for removing the president, and I think that there's a value in having that process. And that the standard is extremely high is also good. But this sort of the impeachment, this first step, does seem to be like an easy sort of political win, or let's say easy political theater that appeals to your base. And so, I do think that the process itself has been kind of tainted by politicization.
So it was overused to the point. Two comments were start. Tucker, this one is from A Citizen, saying Tucker and Marjorie Taylor Greene are grifters and grifting never ends. Yes.
I just like this nickname for Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marg.
Mark.
Mark Taylor Green.
Yes, Mark,
Trader
Mark.
Green.
That's good. And then Sarah's comment was start saying he was impeached twice in his first term. Yeah, so my understanding is that the impeachment will not get him impeached, actually, but it is a time consumer like that. Maybe I don't know if this has been exaggerated, that makes him have to focus on it. And that's why it's going to be an obstacle in it.
It's free publicity too. It gets you in the news cycle. It gets him in the news cycle in the negative light. The reporters are forced to basically report on how that process is going. It basically fills the timeline of the reporting with basically talking points towards the left and what the left is doing, because they're not doing anything else. It's good. So this would be their it's a giant virtue signal. That's another way I would put it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Stephen Falk agrees with Monkey here. They're using impeachment as a way to stall Congress into constant investigations instead of doing actual work.
Yeah. But it might work. Like, I mean, yes, I understand the intention, but it might work because they wouldn't be doing it if it has zero effect. No, that's why I'm concerned. But maybe I'm over concerned.
I think for me, it seems like the effect is more pandering to your base. So, I don't know, like what will it do? In what way? So we have to say that after the midterms, Trump is a lame duck, right? So we understand that, right? He's not running for office again. And so there's going to be, I guess, like from a traditional standpoint, that would mean a kind of curtailing of his influence, right? As Republicans start to think about what does their own party look like post-Trump, right? So that that happens regardless whether there's impeachment or not. But to me, it feels like that lately impeachment has been mostly political theater, and it's people going through the motion, knowing that they're not going to get the conviction, right? So they know up front that this is not going to result in the removal of Trump from office. Right. And so it's just a theater. It's just a theater.
I want to put it this way. If you went to the police and you were making an accusation, not because the crime was real, but because you wanted to tie up the police force and make headlines, you would go to jail. Because the purpose of this process is not for political theater. So is it effective? Well, it's not effective in actually prosecuting crimes by political entities or people that have actually done some wrong. Can it be used for something else? Yeah, sure. It's very effective at stalling Congress. It's very effective at getting headlines. But you have to look at it for what it is. It's an accusation of a crime, basically, and you're making false accusations to aggrandize yourself and get in the headlines. It was wrong during the Me Too era. Those, like, fine, Harvey Weinstein, let him go to jail. But when they started accusing everybody and their mother, and a whole bunch of it, like the Blizzard stuff, wound up being just a bunch of Karens making false accusations, that was also wrong. So I don't like impeachment because they're using it as a false accusation so you can politically attack someone you don't like, Trump, namely.
So I wanted to respond to what Stephen Falk wrote here. I disagree. Lame ducks don't do work after midterms. He has free reign until next president, as long as we win midterms. Yeah. So no, I don't actually disagree with you here, Stephen Falk. So it is possible. It's just what traditionally happens is after the midterms of a president's last term, his own party starts to look at what that party will look like after, right? And so there's a lot of jockeying for position. At the same time, and because of that jockeying for position, even the party members within Congress are looking out for themselves and their own interests, rather than trying to force the president's legislative agenda. But because I think that we've had kind of legislative gridlock for a while now, that the action doesn't really happen in the Congress so much anymore anyway. So yeah, so so yes, it is possible for a so-called lame duck to have a very effective second part of their second half of their last term.
Okay, we did get a super chat. Let me go to two super chats. Zipgun saying Nixon should never have resigned. You know, I mean, I don't. As somebody who is Iranian and pro-Shah, and Nixon being one of the most pro-Shah presidents of the United States, probably the most pro-Shah presidents of the United States, I'm very biased to agree. So, but that might be because of my bias, pro-Nixon bias.
Who came after Nixon?
Muhammad Reza Shah.
Ford. Jerry Ford came after Nixon, and then Carter. So that was a bad run for Iran with regards to.
I don't know much about Ford. Ford was like his vice president?
Yep.
Oh, okay. But the following administration was Carter.
Yes.
Carter,
Well, they
yes.
had, yeah. So Ford replaced Nixon because Nixon resigned, and then Carter won the following election.
Oh my God, that was
But
horrible.
Iranian people, that was horrible. Yeah, but yeah, and you're right. So it was him resigning. You're right, actually, Zipgun. You know, it's him resigning that caused us to deal with the Islamic Republic for the past 47 years. If Nixon had not resigned, the world would have been such a more peaceful place right now. Holy crap! I never thought about it like that.
Carter was a disaster in so many ways because he also had a lot to do with the problems we're having with China. Like Carter was so bad. His astronaut. You know what's it gonna? I couldn't agree more. Right now, just based on what I know, like
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah, I think we all agree with Zipgun.
Yeah.
Zipgun is also. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I would just add to that. Like, I also feel like I need to relitigate the Watergate scandal and so the Nixon presidency, because I'm also not sure. Like, is what Nixon is accused of? Is it sort of some unique corruption, or is it just bog standard corruption that brought down a president that was sort of regarded as an asshole? So I thought it was pretty clear cut because I was sort of too young. I don't really remember that, and I never really bothered to look under the covers. But I do have a suspicion that maybe more was made of the corruption than was actually justified.
I don't think that was the thing. I think the thing is that he was looking into people in the opposite party that he thought were like bad actors, right? And I don't know. That was the time of the other Weather Underground. I think there was a lot of bombings going off everywhere, and all those bombers were supporting the Democrats. So I think you would have to look at them. You would have to investigate them, just like we got to do it now, because a lot of these leftists that are supporting the Democrats are Houthi pirates, and you understand what I'm saying? Like, you do need to investigate. Code Pink, you do need to investigate. Like, what was Nixon doing? What's being done now with Code Pink? Is that what was going on? Because they should be investigating.
So Amir is asking. He's saying he spied on people, didn't he? Asking. So I don't know. Maybe
yeah, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's in a legal way, yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure nobody is 100% perfect, but obviously, the net, even if he did certain things wrong, obviously the whole world having to deal with the Islamic Republic for the past 48 years, it couldn't have been that bad, right? So then there's a net loss here. So I agree. So we did get before I go to Zipgun's next super chat, Justin had a super chat that was relevant, so I think we should go to that first. Justin saying, if Nixon didn't resign, the Republican-led Senate would have convicted and removed him. The famous Mr. President, you have no support in the Senate, forced his resignation. So
yeah, this is a great point. So yeah, I mean, I think the resignation was Nixon. Sort of, I guess, magnanimously perhaps magnanimously or just perhaps conveniently trying to avert a constitutional crisis and additional sort of humiliation to the office. But yeah, it probably was the case that there was just no surviving. And this is a case where there was enough conviction in both houses of Congress to make the move and boot him out.
Well-
Justin, thank you so much for go on. Sorry, Monkey. Go on.
Look, I was gonna say, like, sometimes if you don't defend yourself, the narrative that's out there is what's gonna survive, right? So right now, this is the narrative that's out there, but I can almost bet that a lot of these people deserve to be spied on, that they were probably involved with the Weather Underground, which is a terrorist group.
Yeah.
That a lot of these people were very dirty. Did he did he spy on some Democrat office? I don't give a shit, because if they're involved with terrorism, I want them to be spied on. I don't care because I have this political magic thing that says I'm so anything a spy has to do was get into a primary, and all of a sudden you can't investigate them. That's retarded. But sometimes if you don't go on the offensive, what stays in the history book is the lie that was told about you.
Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Zipgun is saying, I would love to talk at length about this with you guys. Well, Zipgun, you're in luck, because we have a discussion group specifically for that, and you could join and come talk to us. We have calls every single day. You could come there and put a one in the chat over there, and then you could make Nixon your topic, and then you could come and talk to us about exactly this. And by the way, guys, today's group call is free, so check the link in the description, and also or the QR code at the top left corner of your screen. By the way, guys, can somebody check the links in the description and tell us that it's working? Like the link that goes to Liberty Politics discussion group, to Monkey's channel, and also when you're testing Monkey's channel, make sure you're subscribed to Monkey's channel. But check them out and see if they're working. Sometimes the links are not working, so double check them. And yeah, but Zipgun, if you want to talk to us, then why don't you come and join our discussion group? We are there every day. You could come there. And thank you, Zipgun, for the super chat. And then we got the GOAT trophy. Thank you. 1,000 jewels, which gets us the GOAT trophy. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart. And then we got, you guys start this one.
I think this one is for you.
Oh, Aryan is saying you were anti-Hindu a few years back. What happened? I was never anti-Hindu. In fact, when I was going through all of that, there were many Hindus who defended me. So this is like Muslims saying you're anti-Muslim because I'm attacking Islam. So I was never anti-Hindu. Some Hindus were butthurt that I was criticizing and mocking their religion, and some Hindus were shocked of how other Hindus were reacting to me, and many of them came into my defense. So I was never anti-Hindu. In fact, I appreciated all the Hindus that were defending me while I was going through all of that. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so let's go here. Wait, did I play this one? No, this is different. Oh, yeah, I didn't play this one. Let me play this.
Can I say like one more thing about what we were talking about a second ago?
Yes, of course.
In case anybody was wondering, when I was doing my channel, I wasn't having a lot of luck unless I had guests on. So we're going to try to do like more of a panel show thing because you guys loving this. So in case anybody was wondering, just wanted to put it out there so everybody understand. That's cool, right?
Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, guys, subscribe to Monkey's channel. Link is in the description. Did you guys check did anybody check the link to make sure it's working?
Yes, I checked, but I'm still looking for those 2 subscribers since yesterday. 2 more to get to the 875. If you already subscribed, that's fine.
Yes, Monkey's channel and Sid's channel is coming. So Sid, when is your channel coming?
Next week.
Next week. Yes, yeah. I'm asking to remind people. Creating anticipation.
All
Okay.
right, next week, people, it's coming.
Yes. All right, let's play this one. Oh, thank you, Amir. Amir also checked. Guys, Monkey, subscribe to the Monkey. He's trying to grow his channel to 1,000. Thank you. All right, let's go.
Our country will never be a socialist country, right? Will never be. Well, and thank you. No, I said our country will never be a socialist country, and I was 100% right. It's gone communist. Okay, so our
Wait, wait! I didn't expect.
Well, right past socialism.
Wait, I did not expect. Wait, that last second, I didn't see that coming at all. Yes, I was right. It did not become socialist. It just became communist. It just skipped a step. Wait. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't see that coming. Hold on. Wait, one more time. Okay, wait. Like, I'm gonna play it from the beginning. The build up to that. That was funny. Hold on. Okay.
Our country will never be a socialist country, right? Will never be. Well, and
you know, he's smiling because people don't know what he means. Like that the second part is coming, so he's smiling through it.
thank you. No, I said our country will never be a socialist country, and I was 100% right. It's gone communist. Okay, so our
Oh my God. That's pretty good. And Samantha, by the way, in the chat, who also said that the United States was going to become communist. Samantha is also saying, "I already subscribed to the Monkey." Thank you, Samantha. But Samantha is also saying,
She must be loving this. She must be loving this. That America's gone communist.
Samantha, Samantha, you must be loving this. Trump is agreeing with you. The United States is going to become communist, skipping the socialist part. What do you guys think about this?
I mean, so I think he's joking, and as Trump does, and he's a very natural comedian, very entertaining guy. I do feel like there is real signs of a immune system in the U.S. at work. So while there is a sort of very organized and energetic left, I do feel like I'm seeing the anti-left coalition, a broad coalition, anti-left, starting to find their feet, starting to articulate their positions, and really sort of investigating the history again, which is very devastating for socialists and communists. Right, the history is just not. The track record is terrible, and when I say it's terrible, I mean it's terrible to the degree of tens of millions of deaths. So,
Yes.
so yeah, I don't think that socialism in America. I think it's a real uphill climb. Sorry, go ahead, Monkey.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you look at the history of Marxism, it's basically Marxism, and Marxism isn't even new. That's just collectivism. Collectivism is ancient. Like we have like constitutional monarchies now, but in the olden time, in the ancient times, you had theocratic collectivism. You had monarchic collectivism, where the monarch just ruled with absolute power. Then the thing that changed, right, was when this collective, of the appointed class, administrative collectivism, Marxist collectivism. It's still just collectivism. This isn't a new thing. And the only thing that has made a difference, that have risen more people out of poverty than anything ever, is the free market solution, where it's not a top-down ownership, right? It's basically no property for you. Right? They try to you'll hit some property, but it's more like a stepping stones toward the state control of, a top-down economies. Free market, baby.
Free.
Totally,
Yes.
totally agree.
Yes.
Totally agree. I'll just say, I see Samantha is in the chat, triggering me and lots of other people, but Samantha, still love you.
Yes, don't be scared. You have the privilege to be scared of things that aren't going to hurt you. So just enjoy that privilege.
How is she triggering people? She's
scared of Fetterman. I don't think Fetterman's going to hurt her.
No, I think she's being triggered. No, she's not triggering people. Samantha has made a lot of progress. We love her. Okay, she's great. It's great progress. Also, so we got 800 joules from Draw the Line 731. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And also, Crazy As Gal saying, Monkey, I just subscribed.
Nice.
So
I got to 875. Thank you, chat. Appreciate
I'm
it.
also subscribed to Monkey.
Thank you.
Same. I'm subscribed with 2 channels to Monkey, so I'm double subscribed.
I will watch from both because.
All right. Okay. Let's go to this video. Okay, let's see what we have here.
Democrats in the House that I talked to are really worried that if they don't pick up a dozen seats, they're going to be beholden to the new squad and this handful of Democratic socialists who will essentially have veto power over the entire Democratic establishment agenda. That's a big concern.
Yeah.
Will they? They will.
Well,
yeah.
if it's a slim majority, just like you're seeing on the right with the Tea Party, and a little bit less so now, if it's a slim majority, minority rules within the party.
And they're not running to be members of the Democratic Party. They're running, many of them anyway, as Democratic socialists. It's a totally different political organization. And in fact, they want to take out the Democratic Party. I mean, that's their stated goal. They not only want to take out the Democratic Party, they want to take out the entire constitutional system that the Democratic Party is allowed to participate in government.
And they like communism. I proved it here a couple of weeks ago just by quoting them. They use the word a lot. They're not actually trying to hide it, although if you ask them, they will deny it.
This is scary. They're going to be able to, people are like, oh, they're going to be a minority in the Democratic Party. They're going to be able to control so much. They're completely correct. If there's going to be, it's going to be minority rule. If it's, hold on, look at this part.
With the Tea Party, and a little bit less so now, if it's a slim majority, minority rules.
If it's a slim majority, minority rules. This is how these people are going to be able to control so much, even with few percentage points. But when they control so much, even with few percentage points, they're going to create a situation for more people to come in, for them to get more votes until they're now not even a minority anymore. Right?
I don't know. I mean, what I detect that they're talking about. So this is Dana Bash, right? But I don't know. The other guy I'm not familiar with. But what I detect they're saying is vote for Democrats so that Democrats have a bigger majority in order to marginalize the socialists. And I mean, I'm not on board that. I mean, the thing is that what I'm talking about. Okay, so understand this. I was a Democrat. Okay, I consider myself a pro-Israel, anti-communist Democrat. I have been alienated by the Democratic Party because I just don't see them standing up for America. I don't see them doing that. And this has been going on for a decade. It has really deeply alienated me. On not just on Israel, not just on communism, but on race, on climate, on gender, on energy, on a host of things. the Democratic establishment has allowed the extreme leftists, in addition to the IR and the Muslim Brotherhood, to dominate the conversation, and they're afraid. They're chicken. So, like, I don't feel like they're a bulwark against the extreme left. I don't feel like establishment Democrats are a bulwark against the extreme left. And this is my problem. This is my problem, is that I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that the establishment Democrats are going to stand up against this nonsense. So to me, I feel like this is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yes. Well, everybody knows my stance. Democrats were always terrible. They were terrible since before the Civil War, throughout the Civil War, when they enacted Jim Crow. There's a lot of talk. Oh, they changed their ways. No, they didn't. That's a lie. They never changed their ways. They changed their marketing. They didn't change a single one of their policies. They were always terrible. It was a magical time when they were facing absolute defeat that they hid some of their policies, right? And I'm talking about the elected. I'm not talking about people like Sid. And I was a little bit on the left when I was younger. There is a saying that is said by many conservatives to make everybody know, hey, watch out when you're talking about the voters. And that saying is, if you're young and conservative, you have no heart. If you're old and liberal, you have no brain. What does that mean? It means we were all a little liberal. Calm down. So this would be me telling me, we were all a little liberal. Calm down. So I can understand the other position, right? Like, I think there was a magic time that Nitani mentioned before that was called the DLC period, when they stepped back from some of their extreme positions and they were more pro-worker. Like, not pro-worker in this magical sense of let's get rid of property rights, but pro-worker in the actual let's make sure that workers do have a way into having their own property. It was a very short period. People that have a nostalgia for the old Democrat Party, they have a nostalgia for that particular era, the James Carville DLC era. That's the only time that was good. And you look any further back, it was horrible. You look any forward, it's horrible. I can understand that. That's the kind of Democrat that you can kind of get along with. So I would echo the sentiment that if they were trying to get back to that, I would applaud it. But I do agree with you that these people are faking it. They don't want to go back to that. They believe in every single thing the other Democrats do, but they don't want to talk about it. And they want to make it about just redistribution, which the other Democrats, the DSA wants to make it about redistribution. The DSA has all the same policies on gender. You infidel, if you want to cut off your thing, cut it off. They don't care. They have all the same policies on open border. The DSA has all the same policy. They're just openly against the Senate. The Democrats are secretly against the Senate. Like, it's all the same thing. Some of them are like more openly doing the things that the other Democrats want to do. If you want that magical time to come back, you're not going to get it from these Democrats. These Democrats are absolutely wolves in sheep's clothing. I agree.
Yeah. And I would say that to me, so what these guys are advocating for is basically vote for establishment Democrats to marginalize the DSA. That's the wolf in sheep's clothing I'm talking about. But in many cases, what I see from the sort of center-left establishment Democrats is they are chicken. They're afraid of the hard left. They're afraid of cancel culture. They're afraid of sort of ostracization, excommunication. And so they cave. They cave on stuff they know is crazy. Like defund the police. They know it's crazy, but they cave on it. And so now we're supposed to look at them and say, oh, you're going to protect us from the DSA? I don't believe you. What's up, guy?
Wait a minute. I think I can get this right. Shalom Shabbat. Is that how you're supposed to say it?
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I got it backwards. My bad.
We got Guy. Guy, we don't hear you.
Oh no, he's not muted, but maybe not plugged in.
His mic is not plugged in. All right. Well, while he figures that out, are you? while he figures it out, we could do 2 super chats.
But Guy can dance. He can still communicate
Yes.
through movement.
There we go. Justin just gave us a super chat saying, in my opinion, the reason communism or socialism is because, I don't know what, okay, is because it requires self-denial for humanity's sake. So there's a verb missing here. It's a contradiction. We are humanity. How can humanity deny itself so that humanity can benefit? Okay, so
Fails,
I do agree
maybe?
that I do agree that communism denies a human nature. It denies our basic desires and the way that humans operates, and it's fundamentally an anti-human idea. And it goes against our basic needs and desires and the way we function in a society. I do agree with that. Go on, Monkey.
I was saying, like, maybe what he was trying to put is, in my opinion, the reason communism or socialism fails is because it requires self-denial.
There's a second super chat that corrects it. So sorry, fails. You're right, Monkey. You guessed it, and you were correct.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I switched. This is not my main microphone, but it should be good enough.
Yeah, it's
doesn't sound as good, but
it doesn't sound as good as your microphone. But yes, but we can hear you. So just saying sorry. I mean, fails, and really, communism has never really failed. It's intended to give a certain group more power. It's actually worked flawlessly every time. Yeah, it is. Works flawlessly in growing short term, but because it's so self-destructive, it will eventually self-destruct. It's just that the good thing about the values that, Enlightenment values, classical liberal values, Western values, is that they don't just work short term. They just make your society more prosperous. So there's more resources for. It's basically self-improving. It's self-improving. Western values or Enlightenment values or classical liberal values are self-improving in 2 ways. One, because they allow criticism and self-reflection and the freedom to admit mistakes and correct for mistakes. That's why it's self-improving. But the second reason why it's self-improving is that liberty brings prosperity, because liberty allows different methods to compete against each other, and the ones that work spreads out more, and the ones that work are the ones that actually make also more wealth and more money. And that's why values that promote liberty also end up leaving you with more wealth and resources to improve. So it's not just that you find the ways to improve, you also end up with enough ammunition to improve. And that's why all the other values, fascism, communism, Islam, will fall behind relatively. First, because they don't admit their mistakes, and 2, because they don't end up having enough wealth to do the mistakes, even to fix the mistakes, even if they knew what the mistakes were. Sid, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, because I agree with you completely. I just want to add one other thing that it does that is self-improving, is that it gives you signals to understand what needs improvement.
Yes.
So I know I've been dominating the conversation today, but can I also jump into this?
Yes. Yeah. Fine. If you have to. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll talk less tomorrow. Promise. I'm not going to be here at all tomorrow. Like, there's no way. So that's a joke. So I think that communism, I think it's like touches on things that you both said, but it's like, do I need to be in touch with reality or not? Like, are my mental models enough or not? And communism is the ultimate map territory fallacy, which is my favorite fallacy, the most underrated fallacy as far as I'm concerned. Like, no one knows about it. The map territory fallacy is you want to know the world, but the world is complex. And so you create models that give you like heuristics that give you usually a good enough approximation of what the world is. And if the models are good, then you end up mistaking the model for the reality that it's supposed to represent, even though it's also only a partial representation. and then you create policies that game the model, as opposed to the thing that the model is supposed to represent. So for every model, because it's not a perfect representation of reality, you can maximize the thing that it measures without actually maximizing the thing that the measurement is supposed to represent. And so an example for that would be, for example, if you only maximize your economy for GDP, then you're not necessarily maximizing what GDP is supposed to represent. And there are ways to game GDP that don't create prosperity, but
China.
look as though, yeah, for example. So communism is the ultimate in human hubris, in that like it says that I can model the world perfectly and distribute the economy as a result of that modeling. And that's even so that fails on itself even before accounting for the fact that things change and you need to be dynamic. And if you use a model, then you can't be dynamic. You can't allow things to work interchangeably. Like in mathematics, dynamical systems are notoriously unpredictable and unmodelable. So you can't take into account, first of all, the model itself is bad, but then you can't take into account second and third and fourth order effects from what you're doing. Like in dynamical models, which is what a society is, because dynamical models is when parts of the thing you're modeling like interact with each other constantly, and then over time like create something else. So that creates second and third and fourth order effects that you literally you cannot predict. For the most part, you can't predict them. And so communism has to take all of that, throw it out the window, and assume that what it models is both true and also unchanging. And so there's this deficit, I'm going to put this in, and then the deficit is closed, and that's it.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty.
I'd like to quickly comment on that in Walmart American. Like, imagine if you made a map of the Earth, of the whole Earth, 1-to-1 scale, and you covered the Earth with it, but you made everything look like garbage and told everybody, look, everything is garbage. Look at this map that I placed over your eyes, over everything you see, to make everything look like garbage. So what you got to do is give power to me. And if you give power to me, everything is going to be fine, right? Like, you can create basically a false model and show how in this model, the way to fix it is this. And I have heard of this theory before, mainly from the documentary that comes with the Matrix trilogy. I won't explain more than that. The other thing I wanted to point out is about GDP. Like, let's say I have a company and Iktani has a company, right? So I am going to sell him a water bottle for $10,000. And then he sells it back to me for $10,000. Same water bottle. We've basically done nothing. But the GDP went up by $20,000. So you can't use that as a model of prosperity, and you can't use that as, oh, because of this number everything is okay. No, you don't know how much of that is actually working its way through the economy.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to go to Bill? Thank you so much for the 250 joules. And Joyce Samantha, somebody started her comment saying "fuck Mao Zedong."
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I started. I like that. Thank you, Samantha.
Samantha is constantly oscillating, So
no, she's improving.
Well, I had a little exchange with her yesterday where I was trying to explain that the Great Leap Forward was an incredible, terrible disaster, and she agreed, but she said it was because Americans forced the Chinese to starve.
Maybe she went and done some research, and now she.
Maybe. Let's hope so.
Yes.
Let's hope so.
Yes. Okay. So let's look at this video from JD Vance, but also then Pete Buttigieg. I always have a hard time pronouncing his name. Responding to it. Okay. So I want to see what your takes are.
We got a lot of work to do, but we're making progress on all the things that matter the most. On the affordability question, we know that under Joe Biden, the cost of a median price home nearly doubled. Now, for the first time in over 5 years, rents are falling for the first time. We got a lot of work to do, but we're finally seeing that American dream of homeownership become accessible again to our young people. And it's not just affordability.
Okay, so this Pete responded to this saying, mortgage rates are way up, home construction is down, rents are astronomical. All of this is worse since Trump took power because of the tariffs and the Iran war. It's hard to know what planet, let alone what housing market JD Vance is living in, to be able to make such a out of touch claims with a straight face. So,
Well,
by the way,
probably
I don't
his.
know. I don't know what whether this data is true or not, but I could tell you one thing: if there are any issues with rents and housing construction, it's not because of the Iran war or the tariffs. It's because of government intervention, over regulation, and not allowing people to easily build and easily invest in housing. That is what that causes the rent to be high and construction to be low. Not these things that this person identified. Yeah.
To be fair, tariffs could be seen as a form of such regulation.
Depends on how you use tariffs. If you do tariffs, are if you use it, so there's two justified way, I think, for tariffs. Tariffs are justified if it's a security issue, national security issue, that you need to limit something, or if you're doing tariff to reduce other people's tariff. So if you do basically using it as a way to threaten other people that have tariffs on you, if you use tariff as a way to remove tariffs, then it's actually removing regulations rather than increasing regulations. But
Look,
yeah, I see.
I will just say that the places where it's up, where is it up? Oh, in your district? Maybe it's because of your policies, Pete Booty.
Right.
Maybe Pete Booty is just extrapolating to the whole nation the worst parts of Democrat held, ground. The places where it's at its worst is the places you guys control, Democrats. That's where it's worse. That's where it's been worse for what, 100 years? Democrat rule has never led to prosperity in any city. Like, this is just factual. Wherever Democrats rule, everything goes to shit. That's like, and it doesn't get better. It just constantly gets worse and worse and worse and worse. That's why I think Pete Booty is just projecting.
Yeah, can you show the comment again?
Yes.
All right. Casey says racist roads. Pete is a moron. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, that was moronic. I don't think he's a moron exactly, but that was a moronic statement. Yeah. So here's my frustration. Okay, because I think like this is I would endorse what Monkey said. So there are obviously like differences in cost of living across the U.S. And what you'll find is that blue dominated areas have higher cost of living, and often because they have a very sort of anti-building, anti-construction policies. So I think, to be fair, like Guy was saying, I think that tariffs and the war could be inflationary inputs, right? So it could be that it makes these home construction and harder and rents more expensive. So that there's some truth to that. But I would just say, but my biggest issue here is, Pete Buttigieg, what is your fucking solution? Because I think all you're doing is selling Trump bad. And I don't trust you. I do not trust you to do anything about mortgage rates, about affordability. I have zero trust in you. Okay, and you won't articulate a policy. You won't really articulate a policy that's actually deflationary. You're just going to do Trump bad. It's just a posturing.
Which, if we like judging from Israeli politics, when your policy is the other guy's horrible, you're gonna keep the other guy in power. This has been like the story with Netanyahu for a while. They keep changing the face that's against Netanyahu and just saying, look at how horrible this guy is, without saying this is what we'll do different in a way that is actually appealing to the voters.
I think that's the difference between the DSA, because the DSA will actually just tell you, yeah, we're going to take money from rich people and give it to you.
This is exactly right, and this is the reason why they have energy, and the Democratic establishment is so bankrupt. Like Pete Buttigieg is saying, the Democratic Socialists have ideas. They have policy proposals. They're terrible. They're terrible, disastrous policy proposals, but they have them. And the Democratic establishment have no proposal. Their only proposal is that Trump is bad. That's it.
What do you think would be their proposal? Like, what is their solution? If you ask them,
they're going to do watered down DSA. That's what they're going to do. They're just not going to call it socialism, or whatever. They're not going to call it communism. They're not going to say we're seizing the means of production. But they're going to
do more government. They're going to do more government intervention, more taxes,
more subsidies. Yeah.
So that's going to increase, like short term, that's going to reduce prices, but long term is going to reduce the supply, reduce motivation for investment in housing, reduce construction of housing, and over the long term, it's going to increase the prices and reduce construction. That's what.
And grow the government.
Yes. Exactly.
What are they going to do if the person on the opposite end is going to be like generally agreeable? Like if the Republican nominee is someone who's like cool, who's like okay, like what do they have?
So one thing that they could do is they could get somebody cooler. Okay, so this is like, so this is the thing, is that like that they still have appeal in cultural spaces, right? In Hollywood and so on, like Hollywood, among like music celebrities and that kind of thing, right? So they could just try to outcool anybody who the Republicans' position is cool, but it would still be empty. I mean, it would probably be even more sort of radically empty from a sort of policy content perspective.
Kamala had Beyonce and Eminem, and it didn't help.
I don't think this appeals to actual voters. But anyway, let's.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that would be the move that they would probably make because the thing is that Republicans are generally not cool. It's just that like they've always had a sort of very distant relationship, or at least in the recent history, they've had a very distant relationship with sort of cultural elites, and it has been very difficult to sort of like bring cultural elites along. The ones who do are usually kind of have reached a sort of like don't give a fuck age, right? So they have a pretty strong lock on the culturally productive class, which I think is a shame.
Yeah. So I think the Republican nominee should be someone who's also cool. For example, someone who has a DJ experience. Like we find someone like that. Do you have any idea who that might be?
I think I know a guy. A guy.
Yeah, so I think that Rubio does represent a very interesting challenge, because I mean, it's not so much that he's cool, but he's fun. He's fun, but he's also smart. And he's competent. And so I do think that he would represent a very, very interesting challenge. Because right now it just feels like for Democrats, you need to have somebody who's like really sort of milquetoast, like Buttigieg, or you have to have somebody who's radical, like Mamdani. And this is the only two flavors that they have. So the radical and from that positioning, the radical is more appealing because the radical has at least some fucking energy. But I think Rubio is he's a kind of fun guy. He can laugh at himself. He's quick on his feet. He's also he also has good command of the issues. And he's very convincing when he speaks, and he's relatively young. So I think he's a very, very tantalizing prospect.
Yeah,
I don't think he's an entertainer, because Trump is an entertainer. He'll take you on a ride. Rubio was way more direct. Like he is harsher and well, I would say more direct, not as harsh. But Trump goes into these long soliloquies like, you do this, you do that. He has the same stories said 20, 30 times. And I do that too sometimes. But like Rubio is a very effective, concise, succinct communicator. He just breaks it down really fast and cuts through the bullshit really fast, which I think would be appreciated in the next term.
I think that Rubio is entertaining in his own way. It's a different way than Trump. But if you saw his press conferences when he was filling in for Caroline Leavitt, it was actually really funny. And I do want to point out speaking of funny, one dad joke that I noticed in the chat I really appreciate. Someone said Trump is a DJ, and that is true. He is Donald John Trump.
Love that.
Yeah, Trump is a DJ.
Okay, before we go to the next video, first of all, I want to remind people now that Guy is here, that Guy's channel is also linked in the description. Please go support Guy. Guy is the best person I know when it comes to talking about Israeli politics, but he's also apparently good at talking about other countries' politics. He's very knowledgeable. He's very smart. And
but we don't approve of that. We don't approve of that on this channel.
Yes. Okay. Wait, what?
Did I miss something?
I don't get that.
It's very handsome too.
Yes. And he's like, honestly, he needs to get a big platform. By the way, guys, I promise his audio quality is usually better than today, so he'll fix that for next time. But make sure that you go support his channel, subscribe to his channel, and show him a lot of love. And make sure that he gets a big audience, because he honestly, like, we need his voice out there, right? And Monkey's channel is in the description. Guy's channel is in the description. Sid's channel will be in the description starting next week. Somebody starred. Sid, you starred Samantha's comments,
no, I did.
I think, right? I
did.
Oh, you did. Yes. Okay, go on.
Yes. So Samantha is confirming that she did research last night, which led her to think that Mao is horrible. But the research wasn't full enough, because I still believe America is partly at fault, but now I believe Mao was also partially at fault. I think, yeah.
I acknowledge that as progress.
Yeah, it's progress, but America didn't kill millions of people in China.
Yes, but partially. But America is partially at fault. But how big is that portion, right? Like, it's very small. Like, obviously, of course, America is partially at fault. But we're talking about the net. The net contribution of America to the world is so much higher, like than whatever things that they did that was wrong, or whatever they were at fault. Obviously, like, nobody here is arguing that United States is a flawless country that has never been at fault. I'm pretty sure everything that America has done, there have been, there's some faults to it, obviously. We're talking about the net result of America, not about them being pure and flawless, right?
I will take it, though. I will absolutely 100% take it. I've been trying to get Samantha to pay attention to the Great Leap Forward for like 2 months now. So,
right.
You made my day.
This is a great leap forward for Samantha.
It is a great leap forward. It's the second great leap forward.
Yes. No, hopefully not us. No, this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less,
this is an actual. No, this is an
people die.
Yes. Samantha, don't kill millions of people. Anyway, don't starve millions of people. Anyways, let's look at this video.
You have to understand, Will, who are they trying to redistribute from and to whom? The fundamental mistake that Republicans and conservatives make when talking about and dealing with socialists is assuming that we're having a rational, good faith conversation about the distribution of assets in this country. In other words, there's a group of people who all love America, who love Americans, who love the people who built this country, who love the middle class, and we're having a rational, good faith conversation about who should get what in this country and in what amount. You know that famous expression, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. Having that conversation assumes that you are talking to somebody who cares about everybody's boat equally. When you think about, for example, the Somali refugees in Minnesota and Ilhan Omar, that's not the heuristic that they're using to talk about prosperity. They're thinking about it as the people who built this country, Western civilization, The generations that have been here, that blazed the trails, that won the wars, we are taking from them to give to ourselves and our progeny. It is a purely tribalistic redistribution. So in other words, the foundation of DSA, of the modern Democrat Party, of Democrat socialism, Marxism, in all of its forms. In other words, what unites the jihadists, the Islamists, the open borders crowds, the Democrat socialists, the radical leftists, what unites them all is saying that you American, you who built this country, you who sweat and toil and sacrifice created this country, you who sublimated your own desires so that your children and their children could have something better, you don't deserve to have security anymore, physical safety, economic safety, these jobs, this country, this education system. It doesn't belong to you. So when you think about, for example, public schools, half of kids in New York public schools can't speak English properly. Why? Because 40% of New York City public or New York State school students are either migrants or the children of migrants. They're redistributing education from the tax-paying base to newcomers. It's driven not by a belief in Karl Marx, a hatred of the West and the people who created it. That's the key point.
So to answer his question, redistribute from who to whom, a lot of people think it's from the haves to the have-nots. That's not what it is. It's a redistribution from the people who are producing to the people who are taking, which long-term will result in less to redistribute. So the amount to redistribute is higher when you don't touch the system and let the people who are producing do their producing. When you take from the most productive part of the society and give it to the least productive part of the society, at some point there is going to be less to redistribute because there's less production.
Yeah, so you have wealth creation, which is compounding, and you have redistribution, which is zero sum.
Exactly. All right. Let me go to the next video. Here, JD, we will talk about JD Vance.
Today, JD Vance traded an Air Force 2 for a bar rack and dollar brews in Cincinnati.
All right, let's do it. Yes, ma'am.
So he's in full campaign mode.
And then he made a hometown coming to Middletown, the city where he grew up. People usually launch campaigns from their hometowns. Maybe 2028 was on his mind, but that's a long way away. Right now, he's focused on the midterms and the horde of commies barnstorming Congress.
If these radicals take control of Congress, they're going to pass the craziest agenda America has ever seen. One incoming Democrat congresswoman wants to abolish prisons, she wants to abolish police, and she wants to abolish the borders. And let me just say, that's the only real question on the ballot in November. Do we believe in America, or do we believe in nothing? We in this room believe in America, and we're going to fight for it, my friends.
But right now, the message can't just be about what the communists are going to do to the country. It's got to be about what Trump is doing right now. Now, gas prices are up, but the stock market, hot as a pistol. And a great way to take advantage of that for your family, Trump accounts. And you'll never guess who's telling you to sign up.
I'm enthusiastic about encouraging people to get a Trump account. I think it's incredibly important. It's one of the best things he's done. And so we're to encourage people to take advantage of this, to not fall prey to the politics or the cynicism, or maybe even the fear that if I download a Trump account, somehow that means something. It doesn't. It just means something for your kid. It's not Trump's money. It's your child's money.
Katie Zacharias is.
Yeah, what the hell?
Calling it Trump account was brilliant.
What the hell? Huh? I think one of the things that he's doing is he's pouring beer, which is funny because Trump doesn't drink.
Yeah.
It's a step beyond the McDonald's thing. This was just a total surprise.
Are you talking about Vance or about Newsom?
Vance is pouring beer and Trump doesn't like alcohol. I just noticed that, but I decided to wait till the end. But this part right here, that just took me by surprise.
So yeah, and Guy, you said something. What did you say? Like I didn't hear.
I said that naming them the Trump, like a Trump account, is a brilliant marketing move from Trump, because they're objectively, like, the responsible thing to do is to have such a Trump account. We have Trump accounts in Israel. We just don't call them Trump accounts because they exist. They've existed for a while, and no one decided to brand them after himself. But now Newsom is trying to tell people the sensible thing, because he's trying to position himself as a sensible candidate. And the sensible thing to do is to do something that, at least by name, is pro-Trump. Like, he has to explain for a minute and a half why Trump accounts are good and are not representative of Trump. So, like, that's a brilliant.
Yeah, but it also comes off as reasonable because they're like, hey, look at me. I am not being, overly radical or partisan. When something is good, I'm a reasonable and humble man enough to admit it. And even though I'm anti-Trump in so many different ways, look how objective and reasonable I'm being, that when something is actually good, I'm going to call it as good and endorse it and support it, right? Wouldn't that be a good marketing tactic?
That's not by choice. That's by force. He is forced to seem that way because it's already been named that, right? If it had some other name, he wouldn't give Trump any credit. Like, if it was called the child credit account, he wouldn't credit Trump. He'd just call it that and take the credit. You understand what I mean? Like, maybe he should have called it a Netanyahu account over in Israel.
No, but he could spin it as, look at me being very reasonable and not radical and bipartisan. And if it's good, it's good. Like, it's a good marketing tactic. No?
I don't think it'll go that far.
It looks way more like the response of, like, what the hell the monkey had, that visceral reaction would not have happened if the same thing would have happened and this was not called Trump account, meaning this is a good thing this administration did. He can still say, like, market it as a way of reaching across the aisle. But the fact that he was forced to say, I implore everyone to get a Trump account, because that's what it's called, creates a much bigger reaction than if he just said, like, a child savings account. Like a descriptive.
But he seemed like he's celebrating calling it the Trump account. Like, that's, but he seemed like he was leaning into it.
No,
he didn't seem like he was being like, oh, I have to call it the Trump account. He's like, I'm encouraging you to go get a Trump account. He seems like he's leaning into it. But
but then he had to explain for a minute and a half why you shouldn't take the name seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me can I weigh in here?
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so no, okay, all right. So Guy put this foot down.
Bringing it back up.
Thanks. Okay, so I'm actually with Armin on this. I see with Newman is that he's a political animal. He's doing politics here, and he has made the calculation that this makes him look reasonable. I will say this is true of Newsom, and this is true of many politicians. They are not against advocating against good policies, for the sake of good politics, right? So even if Newsom thinks this is a good idea, he is not opposed to saying it's a bad idea if he thinks that he's going to score political points from it. So I think that this is my theory. I don't know what's in his heart. You guys might be right, but my gut is telling me that he's made the calculation and he's playing politics here. He's decided that this makes him look like more of a reasonable kind of, call it like it is, calling strikes and balls. That this positions him as that kind of guy.
I agree with that. What I'm saying is that this would have been easier to do if they were actually not called Trump accounts. Like, you can still say you could emphasize that this is a policy that was advanced by this administration, and it is a good policy, and I encourage you all to get it. But once you say, like, I encourage everyone to get a Trump account, that phrasing requires a lot of explanation after the fact to mitigate the effect that the name has. And so I agree with you that that's the reason he's doing it. And it's just that the name forces him into doing it too strongly. And so he has to, like, what you want from a moderate is to say, this is a good policy that this administration did. I encourage you to create a child savings account, which is one good thing that this administration did. like the fact Monkey's reaction, I think, was very very telling. Like he blurted out, "What the hell?" because it sounds jarring. Because if you, it's called a Trump account, and you're not going to explain the whole thing. What that's the name, and so you have to say it. And by saying it as a Democrat candidate for like presidential hopeful, that it's more jarring than it would be if it was just named something normal.
Yes, but the
My take
jarring
on this-
aspect. Sorry, go ahead, Monkey.
My take on this is there is absolutely no attempt for bipartisanship here. The only reason he even called it a Trump account is because it's the literal name. If it was named anything else, he would not say, "Oh, well, this administration did this good thing with the child accounts." He would just say, "We have made available to you this federal thing called the child account." He would not credit even in the slightest the administration, not even in the minimum. The only reason this seems bipartisan is because of the name. No one believes that he is moving to the center, except like maybe some liberals, some people that are kind of like that most people know. Conservatives aren't going to think he's going the center right, and the right is not for 1 second going to believe that this guy is trying to be bipartisan. And the left would not forgive him if he tried to be bipartisan.
No, but I do think I do think that he's trying to appeal to the moderates because he's not going to out left AOC. I think that he is taking that angle. I agree with that. I just think that this forces him to take it in a more stark step than he would probably want.
Yeah, so I would just add to that.
The name forced him.
Go on, Sid.
So I would just add to that. I think the what the hell reaction is actually to his benefit, right? So because it's a very quick way of rebranding, right? It actually helps to say, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe Newsom is more complex than I thought. You know, maybe Newsom is not just such like a hack. Maybe he's more nuanced than I thought. And so it's like that reaction, that what the hell reaction, is actually doing a lot of work in a very short period of time. Now, one other thing is that you could say, like, okay, you know, if you said, like, oh, you know what, this policy is so good, and it's so, and I must promote it, but the name is problematic. I could play it a different way, right? I could say, hey, you know what, this is a great policy, but it's a cynical move by the administration to name it after Trump. It's actually a Democratic policy idea cooked up in such and such think tank or whatever. But ignore the cynicism, ignore the politics, right? So you could still do it if you wanted to. But I'm speculating here, so I don't want to. I don't want to just. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay, because we're running out of time, and I have a series of videos I want you guys to respond to, and they're all Islam related. So maybe I should just go through them, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. They're all short, and they're all Islam related. Is it okay if because we only have a few minutes, can I just quickly show them to you guys, and then we could comment on them all together? Because okay, fantastic. This is about Islam in the West. So first one is. This one saying it is legally forbidden for Muslim women and girls to wear hijab inside schools in France. They must remove it before entering. Should this be applied throughout the West? So keep that in mind. So this is okay. Maybe remove the song. So this is people going to school in France, and right before they enter, they have to take off their hijab to be able to enter the school. So interesting. Let me just play maybe double speed here.
I think the idea is clear, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything extra?
All right, let me go to the next. Yeah. Okay. So next video, this one is the Scottish boy. So this is in Scotland, and they're teaching these white kids how to be Muslim for some reason, and people are celebrating this boy not bowing down. So, but it's interesting that this is what they're teaching.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the school program teaching taking the kids to mosques and what Muslim traditions. Okay, and then now let's come to the U.S. This is in Florida. Liberal woman in Florida converts to Islam and trains her little girl to be Muslim. This is concerning. So this is in Florida now. So this is what you could. This whole thing. This is a prayer rug that you could buy for children.
I've been having a hard time getting her to want to pray lately. She was all for it at the beginning, and then she eventually just started crying every time I try to get her to pray or get me positions or learn. So I talked to the imam, and he told me just to let her watch and see everything. So I've been doing that, and then now she goes over and she pulls out her mat, and I'm not saying she's doing it right, but I'm just happy that she's trying and she's slowly learning. But it just makes me very happy that she goes and she pulls out her mat and she's at least trying. If it's not me that she wants to learn from, but an electronic device that is able to give her the same information, that makes me so happy.
Do a little spin for me. Oh, it looks pretty. Why'd you pull your scarf up like that? Look how happy she is.
Yeah, can I see it? Can I see it?
Hold on just a
Yeah, this is sexualizing children. By the way, this mat, the way that it works is that this is playing the audio and it's supposed to make it cute so that they like it. So now let's go to the UK really quickly. So Muslims and trans people are apparently fighting against each other. I don't know. Okay, maybe
It's not against each other. It's very clearly the Muslims fighting the trans people.
Say that again. Oh yes, you're right.
It's not they're fighting against each other. It's the Muslims are attacking the trans people. It's not the trans people participating in the fight.
Yes, I didn't see the video. That I was reading the caption, so apparently you're right. Yep, Muslims are attacking trans people.
Even without seeing the video, from first principles, that was very clearly what was going to be the video.
I'm sorry. You're right.
No. I'm not blaming you. It's just that would be a better.
I understand. I made a mistake.
Not you.
That's an obvious thing that I should have realized from the beginning. Yeah, but you're right. So yeah, I don't know if leftists are going to talk about this. Okay, so now let's go to the U.S. This is a U.S. mall. This Muslim is deciding to just read the Quran out loud in a U.S. mall.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do this in Iran in a mall.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا.
And I guess we get the point. And last video before you guys could comment is this Christian guy is responding to the Islam coming into the US. I guess let me just play the video.
Is this in Dearborn?
Let me see. Christian pastor walked up and went berserk. Oh, Dearborn. There you go. Dearborn.
You are not up under American law. You are up under Sharia law. That is the reason why you have made no arrest. You laugh. You are 3 generations of racism in this very city. You know it. You have seen what has happened in this city. And it is my people that have funded you. It's my people that made sure that you have what you have. And you spit on us. You degrade us. But you're only 1% of this nation. We are not a nation of Muslims. We are a nation of Christians. We are one nation under God, indivisible, the God of the Bible, the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the God in whom we serve. I want you to prove to me we're not up under Sharia law. Will you denounce, Councilman O'Reilly, will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce? I know you won't. Will you denounce Sharia law? Abraham, you went to Hillsdale. Will you renounce Sharia law? Will you renounce Sharia law? America, we have lost this city. This is a city that is no longer up under American laws. We are up under Sharia law, and we will not have it anymore. Enough is enough.
Okay, so thoughts on all of this? Sorry that I had to go through all of them fast.
Yeah, so I think that
Monkey, you're muted.
Go on, Sid.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing is that there is like there's a strain of Islamic apologetics that has attempted to present Islam as a sort of innocuous cultural aesthetic tradition. And there are a lot of Westerners who, for their own sort of like ignorance and their own feelings of guilt, are anxious to buy into this. But the problem is that it's clashing, and it's bound to clash with this other strain of Islamic superiority, right? So that these things they can't coexist. And the issue is, to what degree, right, can this strain number one pacify the West so that strain number two can take over? And I don't think it can. I don't think it can, because I see it flaring up now a lot, right? So, I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't do damage, and they've already done a lot of damage. They've already done a ton of damage. But there is a limit to it. There is a limit to it. There's enough people know what's in there, what the actual content is, that they're unconvinced by the apologetics, and it's going to increasingly aggravate people. And I wish that we weren't headed in this direction, but we are headed in this direction. You know, we're headed towards a clash. And it's a lot. The reason why we're headed towards a clash is because too many people have been asleep at the wheel and have not recognized the threat,
or didn't care.
Yeah, guys, we have only a few minutes. So Guy and Monkey, if you could give me your points really fast before we close.
I think so I'll say it in one sentence. I think that removing benefits is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. A lot of these people are there because of the benefits that they get. I don't think you have to ban burqas, not burqas, hijabs in schools, because that gives them a victimhood mentality that they can latch onto. You just have to not give them as many benefits, and I think that can solve a lot of it.
Okay, great, Monkey.
Now just go ahead and close it. I don't want you to get in trouble with your editor.
Oh my God, thank you, Monkey. Okay. Amy with a super chat. Amy was amused by the fact that Abraham was called out specifically, saying, I love how he called out Abraham personally, saying, Abraham, you went to Hillside. Do you renounce Sharia law? Like, yeah, it was different. He knew him personally from childhood. Thank you, Amy, for the super chat. Guys, it's very important that you do three things. First, check out the link in the description for Liberty Politics discussion, because in 1 hour we are going to be there and you could come to our group call and talk to us. And today is free. It's free. That means that you could just come in. It's open to everybody. We have daily group calls every single day. There's group calls there. So we'll be there. Come talk to us. The link is also in the QR code in the top left. That's one. But also, make sure you check the description for Monkey and Guy's YouTube channels. Check them out and go there, check them, and go subscribe to the channels. And subscribe to Liberty Politics, because we're also going to be live streaming the discussion group, the group call on Liberty Politics. So do that as well. And thank you, everybody who's been liking and sharing and commenting and all of that. Thank you. And thank you to our panel, wonderful panel. We'll see you guys.
Thanks to the mods.
Can I say one sentence?
Yes, of course.
So in September, I'm going to have, just as an example of the content you can get, I'm going to have a philosophical discussion on Zionism with Paul Vanderklee. He's a pastor. He got famous for doing Jordan Peterson related content. I'm going to have a discussion with him on Zionism at some point in September. That's not going to be on Liberty Politics. It's only going to be on my channel because it's more philosophical. So subscribe for that.
Subscribe.
Looking
Subscribe.
forward to
That's
that.
great. Great. Yes, guys, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. And see you guys in 1 hour. Okay. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainia, Cuba Libre, Taiwan GIO, Long Live America, Javid Shah, Payende, Iran.